He's gone. And he is across midfield. One man to beat, and he's beat him down to the 20.
On the bench. That one is tipped, and it's picked off. Intercepted. Back the other way at the 30. The 20, down the sideline.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Mississinewa High School and the Grant County High School Game of the Week. That is now the Grant County High School Game of the Year here on WIWU TV. I'm Roger Alcock, joined tonight by a partner all the way from Richmond, Virginia, Mr. Gary Hess. Gary, it's good to have you here tonight.
It's great to be here. I got the call that there was a big game tonight, playoff football, so I hopped a plane and got here. I'm excited about the game.
Well, these two teams are super excited. The fans are excited. The weather is going to start to clear up. And we got some great players tonight. Let's talk about Heisman Skeens for Mississinewa. He's their kind of Mr. Do-Everything.
You know, Heisman Skeens, he's got the name Heisman, so he's got to be a playmaker, right? They find a lot of ways to get him the football. They give it to him, they throw it to him, get him in space, because in space, he is very dangerous, and the other team's going to have to contain him tonight.
Well, talking about containment, Mississinewa's defense is going to have to try to contain maybe the most dynamic player in these parts of Indiana, in Justin Johnson. He is a dynamic quarterback.
Justin Johnson has the ball in his hands all night. Starts with at quarterback, he runs, he throws, he's on the move. You got to watch him all night long, and of course that's exactly what the Mississinewa defense is going to be doing all night as well.
You know, Gary, both these coaches earlier this week talked to us about the hype, the emotion, the stress, the pressure, the fun of this game, but it's maybe the team that can contain all that and rally those things together, and they might have the edge tonight.
Playoff football, teams that haven't met in decades, all the excitement. Who can settle down and play football first? That's going to be key.
These teams are 6 miles apart, but it's been 44 years, and we'll have it. We'll kick this one off. Toe meets leather here on WIWU TV next.
Want to know what I like best about playing basketball for my high school? I like it because it's a place where my friends get to see me play. I like it because I'm playing for someone besides myself. I'm playing for everybody in my school and every person in my community.
Indiana high school sports. They're more than just a game.
Come and see me play.
This week on Crossroads, 10 years in the making, the public finally gets a preview of the James Dean musical.
Grant County kids develop their 21st century robotic skills.
And Marion JROTC competes in Field Day. I'm Randall King.
And I'm Katie Key, your hometown stories this week on Crossroads.
Your community station, WIWU TV.
Well, welcome back once again to Charlie Fisher Field here at Mississinewa High School, where the Marion Giants and the Mississinewa Indians are about 2 minutes away from kickoff. Again, I'm Roger Alcock along with Gary Hess. And again, 44 years since these two teams have last played. Last time was 1973. The Giants won by a score of 12-7. That game was actually played at Memorial Field at what is now McCullough Junior High. So we've waited a long time for this one. We're about a minute and a half away. Well, we're going to get the word from the sidelines first, though. So let's check in with Jalen Lindsay.
Marion, you know, high school, it should be interesting to see them play tonight. Marion hasn't played in Mississinewa in 44 years, and earlier this week, the Marion coaches told us that they will plan to balance the ball, running and passing, and play solid defense. Over to my colleague, Katie Key.
Thank you, Jalen. I'm down here on the Mississinewa sideline, and this game is a big game for the Mississinewa Indians. Coach Kirk Funk said they're lucky that they've played big games throughout the season though, so they're ready for another big one. Back to you, Roger.
All right, well, thank you so much for being on the sidelines, Jalen and Katie Key. Because, Gary, it's 36 degrees outside on the field right now. I'm glad they're down there. We're
yeah,
up here.
Better them than us, that's for sure. And, yeah, got a taste of that sneaking down to the field for pregame. But the field's in great shape, obviously, with the turf. And it's going to be very exciting to see these two teams, how they match up, because haven't seen each other in a long time. None of these kids were born the last time they played.
It's unbelievable. 1973. Who was president? Here's a quick quiz for you.
Richard Nixon.
Richard Nixon was the president last time these two teams played. Now, there was a series in the 60s and the 70s. Marion is 12-0 against Mississinewa, but obviously things have changed a lot in 44 years, and we're really looking forward to a great football game tonight.
You can kind of throw that out because this is a whole new thing. And plus, it's the sectional playoffs. It's going to be very fun to see how this unfolds and who settles in, who plays football, who can do the fundamentals. No matter what level of football you, from Pee-wees all the way to the NFL, you take all the periphery. It boils down to execution, blocking, and tackling, and who does that best will obviously win tonight.
Well, both teams, the captains at the center of the field of this brand new, really still brand new artificial surface here at Mississinewa. We've had the toss of the coin, and in fact the Giants have won the coin toss. They will defer to the second half, and so the Mississinewa Indians will get the football first here to begin this football game. And just like you said, Gary, though, who can settle into what they do. And we talked about Mississinewa. They want a balanced offensive attack. They're going to run. They want to pass. But against this Marion Giant defense, they're going to have to demonstrate that kind of balance.
They're going to have to be balanced, and they're going to have to find different ways to get Heisman Skeens the ball. But Cade McCoy may try to get some other guys involved. They did a good job of that last week. And so, mix it up, or maybe find a new way to get Skeens the ball, something different. You never know what they're going to come up with. Both coaches said there might be some new wrinkles this week, and I wouldn't blame them.
Well, there you see number 21, Heisman Skeens. He'll be back to return the kickoff along with number 35, Cade Campbell. So, like you just said here, they find as many ways as possible to get Skeens the football. We'll see if the Giants kick to him or not here, but we're just about to get this one underway. Christian Lemons tees it up for the Giants. It's Section 21 of Class 4A, Indiana High School football semifinal.
You can count on the fact Coach Chambers knows where Skeens is going to be, and he's made his kids very aware of it.
We are underway as Lemon gets a pretty good kick. It takes Skeens inside his 5 to the 4. Waiting for his blockers. Gets it out across the 20 to about the 22-yard line, and that's where the Indians will set up shop first.
Straight ahead return just across the 20-yard line. Good special teams coverage by the Giants.
Well, we're certainly glad to have everyone along on board. We were expecting a great crowd tonight, and despite frigid, freezing rain, we actually, the skies have kind of cleared up a little bit, and a late arriving crowd, and the stands are starting to fill up here.
Indeed they are, and they're going to see a good one. We'll see what happens with this first Indian possession.
Well, actually, the spot of that football is out at the 23-yard line, so the Indians start in their traditional I formation with Skeens dotting the I, gets the handoff.
Good containment by the inside of that defensive line. No push by the O-line of the Indians. The offensive line is going to have to establish itself to help get Skeens some running lanes, or they're going to have to start trying to get him the ball different ways.
In fact, that is Cade Campbell, who is at the tailback position. Skeens is slotted out to the left. Second down. Here's the pitch to Campbell. Boy, just not much running there. And there, Brandon Mitchell, number 17. Keep your eye on him. He's an outstanding defensive end.
Yeah, he was one of the guys we were watching in the pregame. He's an athletic, physical specimen, 6'5", 200 pounds, and just a sophomore, but made an athletic play right to the runner and got him right to the ground.
Sometimes you'll see offenses trying to run at Brendan because of his speed, but that time he held the corner very well. Well, big third down play here, 3rd and 8 for Mississinewa. Excuse me, 3rd and 7, McCoy under center. And the Giants jump. Offside, so this will now make it a 3rd and 2, a much much different situation here for Mississinewa. Many more options now.
A lot of different things you can call on 3rd and 2. Short passes, swing passes. You can run the football. 3rd and 7 pretty much counted on the fact that the ball was going to be in the air.
Well, that has plagued the Giants this year. The penalties have, and that's one thing Coach Chambers talked about. What they have to avoid are penalties, mistakes. We'll see if this one hurts them.
Cade McCoy, senior quarterback, switched up the count a little bit that time and was able to draw the Giants off sides.
2 wideouts to the left. Campbell, the tailback, gets the handoff. He has the first down and more out across the 35, out near the 38-yard line. So a pickup of the first down from scrimmage as the Indians convert on that big 3rd down.
Had a little hole. Good job, a good seal blocking by the offensive line, just off guard, and squirted right through that hole and got good first down yardage.
Just underway. Exactly 10 minutes to go here in the first quarter. It's the Marion Giants and the Mississinewa Indians. Now McCoy. Play action rolling out to his right under pressure. And that was nearly picked off by Justin Johnson, but he was out of bounds. But there you see the speed of Justin Johnson playing both ways, and that time nearly picked it off.
Yeah, great pressure that time as well by the Giants' defensive line on the rollout by the quarterback, McCoy. They put a lot of pressure on McCoy and forced him into the bad throw. Fortunate it wasn't intercepted, threw it out of bounds.
First pass attempt there for Cade McCoy. But McCoy, they're not afraid to let him throw the football. He averages about 183 yards a game in the air. So by far the leading passer in Grant County this year. 2nd down and 10. Oh, he fumbled the snap. It looks like McCoy got it back, but that was a scary moment there for the Indians, and now they are in a 3rd and long situation.
You know, a lot of talk this week about Marion with the 4-2-5 defense, but in truth, the two of those 5 outs defensive backs are playing right up on the edge, and you'll see the fumbled snap there. And good job of getting on top of it and keeping possession for the Indians.
So
but that 4-2-5, 2 of the defensive backs are coming up and playing right off of the 2 defensive ends. So it's basically a 4-man front and 4 linebackers in the box.
3rd down and 11. Play action. McCoy rolling out to his right. Nowhere to throw. Now he unloads it down the sideline and puts it into the bleachers almost. And so the Indians will have to kick this one away as that time the Marion Giant defense holds.
Great job by the secondary that time of the Marion Giants. There was nowhere for McCoy to go with that football. He actually had time, rolled to his right, kind of slowed his roll a little bit, had plenty of time, just nowhere to go with the football, had to throw it away.
The first drive for the Indian stalls. So back for the Giants. Now it's Padney to punt for the Indians. We'll see who that is back there for the Giants. Here's the snap. A low kick that takes a Mississinewa bounce, and now the Giants are going to pick it up. And that's Burke who brings it out to the 30-yard line. And Braden Burke probably saved Marion another 10, 15 yards there.
Absolutely, he did. He backed up 3 or 4 steps on a couple of hops to make sure he got it in the right place, but kept it from being down and moved forward. You know, high school football, no matter where you go, not catching punts has become an epidemic, and a good job that time by Burke to make sure that didn't pin him deep. Couple of hops, get it right where he wanted to go. Then he had time to pick inside or outside and got a little positive yards out of it and turned it into decent field position at the 30.
First possession here for the Marion Giants will begin at their own 30-yard line. Justin Johnson, number 2. His jersey was a little late arriving today, but they got it just in time.
It's here for the game. That's really all that matters, right?
That's right. Well, here is the inside handoff for the Giants on the carry that time. That was number 11 for the Giants, Khalid Stamps. Only a freshman, and Stamps picks up about 4 yards and gets it out to the 34.
4 yards on first down, 2nd and 6. As a coach, you can always work with that. A lot of options on 2nd and 6. Keep trying to work ahead of the chains. Good job by Stamps to find positive yardage on that carry.
The Giants have 2 wide receivers split to either side. Looks like Justin Johnson making some adjustments at the line of scrimmage. Little play action. Under pressure, rolls to his right. And he'll have to throw it out of bounds, and that's a good sign early for the Mississinewa defense to get some pressure on Justin Johnson.
You know, going back to that first play, so much emphasis on Justin Johnson, running lanes for some of the other for the running backs and some of the other people on the team. But you know, you got to have the ball in Johnson's hands. He's got to do his thing, and Mississinewa able to put on pressure from the defensive end position and that linebacker, and got him on the run and made him throw it away.
We'll see what the Giants can do here on third down. Split wide to the left will be Eli Luton. All the way to the right, Isaiah Hamilton. Keep an eye out for him. That's Burke in motion. Oh, Johnson keeps it, has first down yardage and a few more as he gets it out near the 45. He'll be spotted down at the 44. There you see the quickness of Justin Johnson.
Yeah, you see it. A great job on the fake jet sweep, setting up Burke through there and fake it to him, force some attention there, and then Johnson able to go through. Johnson had plenty of running room there all the way out to the 45-yard line, able to pick his way. Doesn't need a lot of daylight.
The Giants pick up first down on the play, so a fresh set of downs. Here is the handoff. Not much running room that time for Stamps. He picks up maybe 2 yards.
The Giants are going to have to keep on doing that tonight, you know, to give Mississinewa a different look every now and then. Give it to the running back, you know, run the jet sweeps so it's they can't focus so much on Justin Johnson.
Second down and 8. Ball at the 46-yard line. Johnson keeps it. Cross midfield and pushed out of bounds inside Mississinewa territory near the first down, but will be just a little bit shy, so it'll be, again, a third down for Marion, but third and short.
Simple read option play there. Looked at what the defense was doing, pulled it back in, and kept it himself around to the Mississinewa sideline and got a good gain on that play.
You know, talking with Coach Chambers, everyone talks about Justin Johnson's athletic ability. He mentioned how smart he is and what a great job he does in terms of making decisions on those option plays.
And when you have that run pass option, you got to make a split decision. You got to read a certain key on the defense and then either hand it off or keep it.
There is the handoff. That is J.K. Thomas with the carry. Thomas gets the first down for the Giants. And let's see, it'll be first down for Marion at the Mississinewa 43-yard line. So another pickup of the first down on a third down conversion there for Marion. But they've been third and short opportunities.
Mississinewa keeping things moving in the positive direction. You know, you get behind the chains, that's when things are problematic, especially for a team that wants to run the ball all the time.
Broken play there, but Johnson carries it. He has running room. The 30 makes the move down to the 27-yard line. So even on a broken play there, Justin Johnson comes up with the big play.
When you've got a Justin Johnson at quarterback, a broken play is an opportunity. And so he's able to get to the outside and make it happen.
I'm not sure if he meant that for Burke on the second handoff.
Yeah, definitely. It was fake to the first guy, went to give it to Burke, and Burke wasn't expecting that. But Jackson did a good job with it.
All right, so it's first and 10 now. The Giants have moved it all the way down to the Mississinewa 28-yard line. An impressive first drive here for the Marion Giants. They've picked up 3 first downs already. Thomas trying to work that left side, and that time the Mississinewa defense strings it out for no gain.
Ran to the short. They snapped it on the left hash, ran to the short side, and the pursuit of the defense able to cut the corner and use the sideline as an extra defender.
Second down and 10 for Mississinewa. You know, since that last loss to Eastbrook, where Mississinewa really felt like they did not play very well, didn't give themselves a chance to win, they have rolled over opponents by an average score of about 50-6. Well, here's Justin Johnson. He's looking towards the end zone, and it is incomplete. Isaiah Hamilton, the intended receiver, but that's the first time the Giants go deep. But getting back to the
well covered, by the way, by Skeens, by Heisman.
Well, this schedule for the Mississinewa Indians, they've rolled over people. You know, scores of 69-0, 60-0, 69-0, 69-20, and then of course last week in sectional 65-20 over Frankfurt. You know, this is kind of their first big game in almost 2 months.
Yeah, you know, when you play a bunch of blowout games in a row, all of a sudden if a game is close into the second half, you wonder how your team's going to react. No question about it.
Well, now it is 3rd and 11. Johnson looking towards the right, has his man. It's Burke. Burke is diving forward inside the 20, but he's going to be just shy. It looks
like about 1 yard short.
Well, they threw it short of the first down, and we're counting on Braden Burke to get some extra yardage, and he almost did.
Looks like they're going to need about 1.5 yards on the 4th down play.
Giants, no thought whatsoever of kicking this football. They're going to go for it, and I'd be shocked if it isn't Justin Johnson on a keeper here. They need a full yard gain here to get the first down. Johnson working right side, slips through, and has the first down, and then there's a late flag that is thrown in here, so we'll wait and see what that flag is all about.
Flag came right at the end of the play, but they got rid of all the fakes and all the pretend stuff. They just snapped it to him, got a bunch of blockers out there, and Johnson was running all the way.
Well, it is a hold on the Giants, so wipe out that first down. And instead of 4th and 2, it's going to be 4th and 7. I think the Giants are still going to go for it here on 4th down, though.
I think they probably are. That flag came in right at the end of the play, too.
Well, the second penalty on the Giants, 2 penalties now for 15 yards. The first one didn't really hurt them, but this one puts it, instead of 4th and 2, it's going to be 4th and 11. When they said 4th and 2 on the scoreboard and what you saw here on our graphic, it was really more about 4th and 1 yard, but
it was about 1.5 yards, to be truthful.
Johnson looking to throw. He's under pressure. Gets away from the tackler. Still on his feet. And then he is hauled down well short of the first down. The Mississinewa Indians defense holds, and they will take over on downs, but Justin Johnson made it at least a little bit interesting.
But, you know, when you make those first 3 guys miss and you have to spend a lot of time to do it, it gives the other guys time to rally around, and Johnson really wasn't able to even get close.
You know, we talked to Coach Kurt Funk earlier in the week, and he talked about how important his defense playing assignment football, getting 11 hats on the football was going to be if you're going to stop Justin Johnson. I think that was a good example right there. They didn't give up, and they pursued the football and made the stop.
And the first guy that gets there may not make the tackle, but if you can hold him up enough, other guys it's going to give those other guys time to get there.
Well, the Indians take over at their own 29. Here's Campbell waiting for a block. Gets a couple yards out across the 30, and we'll say it's at the 33-yard line, so we'll pick up a 4.
Simple pitch play there, trying to get to the outside. Not a lot of success last possession running between the tackles, so mixing it up a little bit. You know, the Mississinewa defense kind of bent a little bit between the 20s, but if that's going to happen, if you can stiffen up right there about the 20-yard line and push them back, and the holding penalty certainly helped, but that's the bend but not break philosophy could work well for Mississinewa tonight.
Well, the Giants have struggled a little bit this year scoring in the red zone. Well, here is Skeens in motion. McCoy rolling that way. Now he's going deep. He had Skeens, who tripped, and it was nearly picked off. Well, that was, I think, the Mississinewa fans wanting a pass interference call, but from what I saw, it was a couple players with their feet getting tangled up there.
Yeah, just guys going for the football. Good job that time by McCoy, though. He rolled to his left and then set himself because to throw against his body would be tough. And, yeah, that's, no harm, no foul, no flag.
I like the call, though, in terms of trying to stretch that defense out. You talked earlier, Gary, about how the Giants were loading the box up, so to speak.
But when a right-handed quarterback rolls to the left, it's important that he stopped and set himself and made a really good throw.
Well, it is 3rd and 7 now. Here is, that was the handoff to Campbell. He has the first down, still on his feet, across midfield into Giants territory. and drugged down at the 46-yard line.
Great
little misdirection.
Great counter look that time. Everything goes to the right. They give it back inside on the left, that inside counter. That's a great high school play you see all across. See it a lot on Saturdays in colleges as well.
Well, this first quarter is slowly ticking away. We're under 3 minutes to go in what is no score in this football game yet, though, but a very well-played football game. You know, we talked about the hype, the emotion, all the buzz around this game, but I think both these teams, if we take a look at this, have played pretty well.
Yeah, the look of that play goes to the right. The counter takes it back to the left, and it is very well executed and got into the secondary. And once a running back gets into the secondary, you can start making some good headway. And as you can see, one of the Marion Giants is down on the field.
Aries Washington, the sophomore. Well, he's up and walking off the field under his own strength there, so that's a good sign.
Always good to see him when they walk off without help, but he does appear to be in some discomfort.
Well, it's 1st and 10 for the Mississinewa Indians. The ball is at the Marion Giants' 46-yard line. This drive began back at the 29, so the Indians making a little hay here against this Giants defense. 2:31 to go here in the first quarter. Here is Cade McCoy under center. 3 backs in the backfield.
Power I formation with 2 tight ends. That's 11 in the box. That's an announcement that we're going to come between the tackles and play power football. What are you going to do? And good response by the Giants defense, holding them to just about a yard, maybe 2.
That was Heisman Skeens on the carry. We'll give him 2 yards on that play. Call it 2nd and 8. So we're under 2 minutes now here in the first quarter. Same formation, but this time they pitch it, and Skeens goes wide to left. He dropped the football. He put it on the turf, and the Giants say they have it.
That's a careless play, carrying the football while looking downfield, trying to pick his hole, and then the ball got away from him.
Well, a break for the Indians as Jay Jones was at the bottom of the pile there and came up with that loose ball. And so the Indians will maintain possession, but now it'll be 3rd and long, make it 3rd and 13.
See what happened here. Takes the pitch, and he's switching to the left arm, and great job knocking that ball away. Diving play by one of the defensive linemen for the Giants to knock that ball away. Across the body, he's on the right side, went all the way over to the left arm and knocked that ball away.
It may have been Travis Metzger. I'm not sure. Didn't get a great look at it, but
if you're Skeens, you got to secure that football.
McCoy looking right, firing towards the first down marker, but again, it's out of bounds. His intended receiver over there was number 8, Hunter Smalley. And so the Mississinewa Indians will have to kick it away. It's 4th down and 13 to go. So what looked to be a really promising drive is shut down rather quickly.
It was shut down, and yes, they're not going to score, but the important thing is they change field position. After getting that, you drive it out 20, 25 yards. Then with a punt, maybe you're making, maybe Marion will have to go 80 yards instead of 50 yards to score this next time. So changing field position critical, especially in a close playoff game.
Oh, excuse me, Gary, that kick just barely got away. And now there is a late flag on that play as the ball is going to be marked down inside the 15, down at the 11-yard line, but that flag came in pretty late, right where the contact was made with the punter.
Will it be the 5-yard variety or the 15?
It's
going to be the 5, and they'll probably decline it after the excellent punt.
It is indeed only the 5-yard variety. As you said, Gary, Coach Kurt Funk said, we're going to decline that penalty and take the ball at the 11. Really an outstanding result on that punt for the Mississinewa Indians.
Faced double pressure, but got it off, and got off a great punt that went all the way. Nobody could pick it up, and it got down all the way inside the 15-yard line.
51 seconds remain here in the first quarter. The Giants will begin their second possession at their own 11-yard line. J.K. Thomas, number 12, lined up as the tailback in this formation, gets the handoff. Out across the 15. Nice yardage on first down as he gets it out to the 17.
Good, simple bread and butter running play and good yardage on first down. 6 yards. You know, there's not a coach anywhere that doesn't like making calls on 2nd and 4, 2nd and 3.
We'll see if the Giants get one more playoff. They actually have to get one more playoff here in the first quarter. 2nd and 4. It's Burke in motion. Johnson with the keeper. Tries to turn it upfield. He does get the first down as he gets the ball out across the 20 to the 24-yard line.
Good enough for a first down for Marion.
The fourth.
I was just
going
to say, he made the first guy miss, and then the secondary guys came in there and got him down, but too late to prevent the first down.
Good look at the head coach of the Mississinewa Indians there, Coach Kurt Funk, who's done a great job with this program in his 8th season now. And that indeed is the end of the first quarter of play. A low scoring or no scoring first quarter, but a very well played first quarter of action. And Gary, we'll take a break. We'll be back with the second quarter of action right after this. You're watching the Grant County High School football game of the week on WIWU TV.
Want to know what I like best about playing basketball for my high school? I like it because it's a place where my friends get to see me play. I like it because I'm playing for someone besides myself. I'm playing for everybody in my school and every person in my community.
Indiana high school sports. They're more than just a game.
Come and see me play.
This week we signaled the chorus and began the highway tunes. And just like that, we were driving back through the life of James Dean.
Everyone comes from this was the dream that I had growing up. How do I keep going after it?
On stage for the first time, we'll check out Cool's Angel, the James Dean story, this week on Crossroads.
Bringing Central Indiana home to you. This is WIWU TV 51 Marion.
Back here at Mississinewa High School, it's the Giants and the Indians in a sectional semifinal. Giants have the football 1st and 10 at their 23-yard line. 4 wideouts for the Giants. Now out of the backfield, well, J.K. Thomas moves up a step. Low snap. In trouble. Johnson is hit, and he's going to eat the football back inside the 15, back at the 13-yard line. So the first really big play now for the Mississinewa Indians defense. Speaking of Mississinewa, we're going to take it down the sidelines. The Mississinewa sideline and check in with Katie Key.
Thank you, Roger. I'm down here on the Indian sidelines, and these players are definitely carrying the energy, and they are getting it, honestly, from the crowd. This crowd is a big one tonight, and they keep giving these players the energies just to keep on moving. Back to you, Roger.
All right, thank you, Katie. Boy, that sack there has set up a 2nd and 20 here for the Giants, Gary. They got to maybe take a couple plays to get some of these yards back. Here is the toss out of the backfield to J.K. Thomas, who's run out of bounds near the 20-yard line, so he gets about 7 of those yards back, and it'll make it 3rd and 13.
So you can just see a little stunt there, little twist by the defensive line, and the offensive line of Marion on that particular play totally overmatched. Red shirts all over Justin Johnson.
Well, this is a big play for this Mississinewa defense right here.
And Mississinewa put pressure on again. Good call that time by Marion, getting the quick screen out to the left, and they were able to get good yards. 3rd and 13. 13 a lot easier to handle than 20.
Well, Montreal Pogue goes in motion and is set now in the slot to the right. Johnson under pressure, rolls that way, fires on the run, and just throws it into an empty space, and the Giants will have to kick it away as the Mississinewa Indians defense holds.
He had to throw it away. The pressure on again. 3 plays in a row where a lot of red shirts, a lot of Mississinewa defenders all over Justin Johnson, and so maybe some adjustments on the way from that Marion offensive line.
Well, you talked earlier about that Mississinewa drive. Even though they didn't get points out of it, did change the field some up with the big punt. Their defense holds.
They get it out to midfield.
Yeah.
You punt to the 11-yard line, and all of a sudden they're punting from the 20, and you got a chance to get the ball at midfield or even better.
Skeens is back to return the kick. A low line drive that takes a big bounce. Skeens tries to pick it up and has to dive on the football near midfield. That was a little scary.
It was a little scary, but all is well. Now that he's fallen on it, he had the right idea because that ball is bounding. It would have gone inside the 40, maybe to the 35, but instead, Mississinewa was going to have it at the midfield stripe.
Well, by far the best starting field position as we take a look at this punt once again. It was a low, bounding kick there, and Skeens is rather fortunate that ball fell at his feet. He had to just dive forward to get it. Well, it's 1st and 10.
And that oblong ball takes funny bounces sometimes.
All right. Here is McCoy back in the shotgun formation now. 2 tight ends. And back set to each side. Campbell, no, play action. He's going to toss it to Campbell out of the backfield, but well covered that time. And for the Giants, I think, once again, number 32, Travis Metzger, good coverage there. He's the one that knocked the football out of Skeens' hands earlier. He's having a nice first
diving.
half.
That was a diving play on Skeens. Right there, a little wheel route going to the far side. And, the pressure once again forced McCoy to throw the ball before he wanted to. And that disruption, you don't have to get a sack, just disrupt the play. And, the same thing's accomplished.
But the Indians going to the pass on first down. Again, trying to mix things up. Here, the second down carry by Campbell. Good yardage inside the 45 down to the 44. And so now it'll be a 3rd down and 5 after the gain of 5.
Nice little counter play there with the fake from the quarterback after the handoff. Well executed by Mississinewa.
$10:20 to go here in the second quarter. No score. Coming in late now for Mississinewa. They don't have a number 52 on a roster, but
so we'll call him number 52.
Here is the handoff to Campbell. He spins off one tackler, dives forward, has the first down. So Campbell keeps his feet churning and gets the first down.
White shirts all around him. Great individual effort that time to get to the chains. That was just a matter of want to. He wanted to make sure he got to that first down. And just really watch this great effort. Spins, finds his way, and gets that first down marker. Move the change, fresh set of downs. Great play.
It'll be first down, 1st and 10 for the Indians at the Marion Giants 38-yard line. McCoy sends Skeens in motion out of the backfield. Rolls to his right, pump fake. He's going deep for Skeens. Has his man beat. And it's knocked away just in time by Justin Johnson. But again, Skeens had a step for a moment.
Ball was slightly underthrown, and Skeens actually kind of turned into the defensive back a little bit and kept Johnson from intercepting it. But that's our 2 key players matched up man on man on the perimeter there. And it's fun to see those 2 guys go at it mano a mano and throw it up and see what happens.
Well, there was apparently a penalty flag on that play. Did not see that, but it's a hold on the Mississinewa Indians. That's their first penalty of the football game, but it will march them back 10 yards. Well, actually, the spot foul, takes them all the way back.
That was a hold about 6 yards behind the line of scrimmage, so they're going to be way behind the chains now.
Puts them all the way back to the Mississinewa 47-yard line. And
if they're on that side, he'll use 5.
I don't know if we'll see the hold here or not, but there you see the great defensive play from Justin Johnson.
Yeah, Johnson made a great play. Just knocked it away.
So it's going to be first down and 26. Here's Campbell on the delayed handoff. Gets some yardage back. Nice gain inside the 40-yard line of the Giants, all the way to the 36. So a great play call that time by the Indians.
Yeah, a little delayed draw and see if Campbell can make a play, and he absolutely did. Nice job running. Got over top of a defender, picked his way very patiently down the field. Great run to get back inside the chains. When you're 1st and 26 or whatever it was, 2nd and 8 sounds pretty darn good, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And, that's one of those calls sometimes that maybe it doesn't go very far, and you're like, what is the coach thinking? That's exactly what he's thinking. That's why they call it, because it's a great change of pace right there. You're maybe thinking pass on 1st and 26. That time it's a huge gain and sets up that manageable 2nd down and 8.
Power I.
Well, here's Skeens to the right side, waiting on his blockers, tries to turn it upfield, and will get a couple of yards to the 33-yard line.
That play, the Giants, at the athleticism on the Giants defense showed up, because that lateral movement, just nothing ever opened up.
One of the things I thought about in preparation for this game is we talked about the speed of the Giants defensively. Sometimes coaches may try to, a reverse or some kind of play to use that momentum or speed against them.
The misdirections, or running straight at them, running east-west, sweeps and that kind of stuff, normally not going to do very well against a very athletic defense such as this.
Well, Skeens on the carry will be a couple yards short of that 1st down. It's going to be 4th and, 2 or 3 yards to go here. And with the ball at the 31-yard line, we're going to call it 4th and 3. The Indians, are they going to go for it? Now there is a penalty. Is it a substitution issue? Now the Indians are going to call a timeout, so maybe if they use a timeout, that will negate the flag. Yep. I think they had some kind of a substitution issue there, maybe someone coming in late. And so Coach Kurt Funk is going to burn his first timeout. Not a bad spot, though, with it being 4th down and 3 yards to go with 7:30 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Not a bad timeout. Even if that penalty was not going to be in play.
It's not a bad, because you got a chance here to pin them deep if you're really going to punt it. You can pin them inside the 10-yard line, play, field position football in a scoreless, tight playoff game. Field position is going to be critical, but if you're going to do this, you got to make sure you do it right. Pin them inside the 10-yard line. That's the great opportunity they have. So it obviously works very well to get the special teams together and make sure everybody's on the same page. One of the things I found interesting, there was not a lot of talk about special teams in advance of this game, and it is a critical element of the game. We saw it earlier with the great punt by Mississinewa pinning Marion deep, and that is, a lot of times that special teams battle is what makes the difference in a game, especially a game like this.
We saw the Indians earlier in this season when Cade McCoy, the quarterback, went down. Heisman Schemes kind of came in and did a kind of a wildcat type of a quarterback.
Just took the snaps instead of somebody giving it to him.
But the man can throw the football.
Okay. It's good to know.
Well, McCoy is under center, but Skeens is lined up about 7 yards behind him. Are they trying to get the Giants to jump? And they do. The Giants are going to give Mississinewa the 1st down.
The Giants are pointing fingers, but we'll see. Yep.
That is the 3rd penalty now on the Giants.
And, why not do that? Then that's something that was a byproduct of the timeout. You take the timeout, and from film study that they're susceptible. Go out and do that. It worked like a charm. Now you got a fresh set of downs.
It's 1st and 10 for the Indians. The ball is 25. Here is the handoff. Campbell's hit right at the line of scrimmage. Might have got a half a yard. And again, that was Skeens and not Campbell on the carry. But, it's been tough sledding, trying to run right at that Marion Giants defense.
Especially, right there, defensive line. One of the tackles slid off the block and made that play 1-on-1.
Well, a 1st down that came to the Mississinewa Indians on behalf of a Marion Giant penalty. Now quick snap to Skeens. Right side, turns it up. Hit and then just driven backwards.
You mentioned Wildcat?
Yeah.
And there it is. Got about 5. Now you have a 3rd and manageable.
It's 3rd down and looks to be about 6. The ball is at the 21-yard line. The longest drive for the Indians so far, their 3rd drive. This will be their 10th play of the drive. 6 minutes and 22 seconds to go.
Bunch formation here right off the left tackle.
Skeens is going to throw out of that formation. It dropped. It would have been well short of the first down, but his intended receiver was Cade McCoy, the quarterback. So Coach Funk trying to mix it up here a little bit.
It's good to show a couple of those things early in the game. Once again, you got to know where the sticks are. You got to get out to the sticks and throw it there, even if it doesn't work.
Great coverage that time by the Giants defender. Had McCoy caught it, he would have been well short of the first down. Well, it's now 4th and 6.
You can see all the Mississinewa players looking at their wristbands. They call in a code. The codes are on all the plays are on the wristbands. Very efficient way to do play calling from the sidelines.
McCoy is going to take the snap back in the shotgun formation. 2 wide receivers to the right. He's rolling that way, now throws across the field. Here's Campbell. He's got some blockers. He has the first down at the 10, at the 5, into the corner of the end zone for the touchdown.
Well executed play. Come to the left, and throw it back to the right, throw it back to the left. Had like 3 blockers over there, just like you draw it up, and it worked for the Indians, who were on the board first.
A 21-yard touchdown pass from Cade McCoy to Campbell, and the Mississinewa Indians get on the scoreboard first. I love that play call. It was a great play call.
Yeah, I love it. They're all great when they work.
Yeah.
Roger, they're all great when they work. But yeah, that's a great play call. And McCoy had to sell it, had to sell that run to the right and stop and throw it high enough to get over the defense. So he rolls to the right, lets the defenders you have to suck the defenders in, over their heads, right to the receiver. He had basically an escort all the way to the end zone.
Yeah, big number 70, Evan Wilkins out there with that block that gave him the first down, and then Campbell just uses some speed and got another block down there towards the goal line to get in the end zone. But
you know, and it's interesting because this game has kind of gone back and forth, and now someone has cashed in, and Mississinewa is a team that would benefit from playing ahead in this game, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
And so Mississinewa, watch him, looked down, looked off to the right, waited till the defense came in, then threw it over their heads, and there was 3 red shirts. He had the freight train down the sidelines. Great execution, not just a great play call, great execution by all 11 on that Indian offense.
We mentioned Wilkins with the block, then moving downfield, Dustin Patton, number 51, kind of got that touchdown block. Wilkins the first down block, Patton the touchdown block. Well, here's the kickoff, and it takes J.K. Thomas back to about the 5. He gets across the 25-yard line, knocked out of bounds. And the Giants will set up shop there. 5:53 to go in the third quarter. Second quarter.
Just say flag on the play, so they're going to be pushed back deep. The flag looks like it's down inside it's at about the 24, so that'll push them back probably inside the 15-yard line to start.
If that flag indeed is on the Giants, that'll be their 4th penalty here in the first half, an illegal block in the back.
Yep. And they, you know, we always, on those penalties, you look at where the flag is laying, because where they lay that flag down, it's going to go 10 yards back from there.
So instead of the ball at about the 27-yard line, the Giants are going to set up shop first down deep in their own territory at around the 14.
There it is right there, number 15 for the Eagles. Right, and it was well behind the play, almost after the play was over, that penalty was made. Had no bearing on the return.
Back to live action. Big gain on first down out across the 30. And Montreal Pogue there with the big carry. And it gives the Giants a first down and some breathing room.
Breathing room, very important. And running the ball very good after that pass rush in the last sustained pass rush from Marion, from Mississinewa in that last possession. Running the football, trying to counteract that a little bit and opening up some opportunities for Johnson.
Johnson with the keeper, bounces off one tackler. And then is run out of bounds along that right sideline in front of the Marion bench at the 37-yard line. That drive for the Mississinewa Indians took 10 plays, went 49 yards, and was capped off by the 21-yard touchdown pass from McCoy to Campbell. 7-0 lead here for the Indians.
Interesting mix of ball control and big plays characterizing that drive as well. Great pursuit, by the way, on the Mississinewa defense on that last play. 7 red shirts pursuing to where Johnson was heading out of bounds.
Here's the inside handoff. J.K. Thomas breaks a tackle. He's got some running room. Across midfield, the 40, the 30, and finally run out of bounds as he gets it into Mississinewa territory. A big run there for a J.K. Thomas. His first big carry of the night.
A lot of benefit there to the attention being played to Johnson. And Thomas got the ball and knew what to do with it. Got that first break and then was in open field almost right away. And he obviously knows what to do in the open field.
J.K. Thomas, only a sophomore, and really shows some speed here.
Right there. Makes that guy miss. And then after that, it's off to the races. It only takes one sometimes. Had a hole to run through for about a 4-yard gain. Missed tackle, broken tackle, and all of a sudden you've got a big play all the way to the 25-yard line.
Campbell and Patton making the stop there for Mississinewa. But going back to what Coach Funk talked about earlier, it's the teams that do the fundamentals the best, the blocking, the tackling. And that, quite frankly, it's a missed tackle there that J.K. Thomas breaks for the big gainer.
It is my belief that the blocking, tackling, you have to put execution into that as well. The touchdown play for Mississinewa, that was about execution on the part of the Mississinewa offense. But you're right, missed tackles it's an epidemic. It really is. I see it all the time. You've got to learn how to wrap people up and get them to the ground. But that missed tackle led to a huge gain for Marion on that play.
Well, a timeout has been taken, and I believe it's by the Mississinewa Indians. That'll be their second. It's the combination of things. I mean, it's a great run by J.K. Thomas. He keeps his feet moving, making himself harder to tackle, obviously. But you got to wrap up just a little bit better there.
He didn't just keep his feet moving. He sensed him coming from his right and moved slightly to his left, and made the defender reach farther and made himself more difficult to tackle.
Well, the Giants looking to respond after that Indian score. Johnson drops it. Tries to reverse field. He's hemmed in, breaks through a couple of would-be tacklers, and somehow makes what would have been about a 7-yard loss a 2-yard gain.
Unbelievable play by Johnson that time. He was in jail and managed to slip through and turn that into a positive play. What a play by Justin Johnson.
2nd down and 8. We're just under 5 minutes to go here in the second quarter. The Giants looking to respond here, looking for their first score. Thomas reverses field. He's hemmed in, and he is in trouble. And he's going to be taken down for the big loss all the way back at the 39-yard line.
Great individual play that time made for Mississinewa. Is that number 52? I don't think we have a number 52 on our roster.
Yeah, that's our man 52.
Our man. Well, 52. There he is, right there. Right there, number 52. He made a fine play there.
We'll try to get that number at the half, but now it's a 3rd down and 19 after the big play from J.K. Thomas.
Yep, 2 negative plays in a row. So once you get about to that red zone, the Mississinewa defense all of a sudden ramps it up a little bit.
Well, now the Giants are going to use their first timeout. 3:51 to go here in the first half. The Indians on top, 7-0. The Giants were on the march, but they faced a big 3rd and 19 play here. And, the young player, J.K. Thomas, trying to make something happen there, but
great pursuit. There were several red shirts there, but our good friend number 52 got to him and did not let go. Fundamentals of tackling right there. Got him down to the ground.
Are you built to succeed?
Oh, okay. Kyler Funk is wearing number 52, and of course on a roster, he's 17. And I was kind of interested why we hadn't called his name yet tonight. He leads the team in tackles. He averages 8-9 tackles a game. Of course, the coach's son.
Watching him play tonight, he didn't look like a guy who wouldn't be on the roster.
But Kyler Funk, only a sophomore, 6'2", 190-pound linebacker, coach's son. So he's got not only the physical tools, but some of those coach's son
football IQ.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, so now the Giants will break the huddle after that timeout. 3rd and 19. I don't know if you maybe try to get some of this back and make it a manageable 4th down attempt. We'll see. Johnson will be alone in the backfield, and now there is a motion penalty as J.K. Thomas was splitting out to the left, and then for the Giants, the tight end moved.
Once again, the little things, the details, the little penalties. It's hurt Marion a lot tonight at key times. Jumping off sides, giving Mississinewa a first down, now pushing him back even further to 3rd and 24.
Well, unofficially, that is the Giants' 5th penalty for 40 yards. Johnson is going to throw it, and over the head of the intended receiver that time. That was number 16, Eli Luton. And so what looked to be very promising for the Giants, a first down deep inside Mississinewa territory, is now going to be a punt from nearly back to the 40-yard line.
Yeah, after that first down, that one long run, it all went wrong after that. And the Mississinewa defense, you got the mistakes of Marion, but the Mississinewa defense, it's almost like you get to that 20-25-yard line, they rise up and make plays. That's a good way to be. If you're going to bend a little bit, you may as well not break.
Skeens back deep. Here's a high end-over-end kick, but very short, takes a Marion bounce. And diving forward, that's a loose ball. I don't know if that was Skeens trying to get the ball. It's still loose down there.
Yeah, whoever went over there, you got to stay away from that ball at that point.
And the Giants have the football. The first big mistake of the night for the Mississinewa Indians is going to give the Giants the ball first down inside the 20-yard line. We're going to see it's probably about the 17.
Yeah, that ball was about to be down. You just got to, at that point, you've just got to stay away from it. You can see over there it's bounding around and getting ready to be down. And the Mississinewa player went over there and tried to fall on top of it, I guess to keep it from bounding inside the 10. But a great opportunity here for the Giants.
Here is the inside handoff. J.K. Thomas going right off tackle. Gets about 5 yards there on first down. No messing around that time offensively for the Giants.
Straight ahead run, and if that works, if they're not going to stop that, you might as well keep doing it, right?
Well, they've had some success for sure here in the first half. Here again is Thomas. Breaks one tackle near the first down marker.
Thomas on the carry up the middle once again.
Looks like the officials are going to mark it just a little bit shy of that first down. It'll be 3rd down and 1. Giants looking to take advantage of that big turnover on the punt.
So you see, just running over there was one of the Mississinewa players and tried to field it on a shoestring.
Juice keeps it, turns it upfield on that right sideline. He has the first down as he gets it down to the 5-yard line. And the Giants are on the march right now. 2:34 on the clock, and they'll have it 1st and goal at the 6.
You can see why they call him Juice. He's definitely got that it factor. And now 1st and goal for the Giants, trying to get even in this ballgame.
Juice Johnson, the 6', 165 quarterback, and of course defensive back on the other side of the football. The senior stepping into the starting quarterback role this year has just been outstanding for the Giants. All right. Now there is a timeout called by the Giants. That'll be their 2nd timeout. They don't want to make any mistakes right here.
With 2 minutes to go in the half, you can't take them with you into the second half. And so this is a great spot for it. Make sure you get the right play call here on 1st and goal.
I want to say hi to our good friend Ron Vermillion, who is watching tonight's football game all the way down in Florida, down in Seminole, Florida tonight. And so we want to say hi to Ron, and we'll see you next year.
Hi, Ron.
Of course, Ron was our color guy all season long, the former Giant coach. Coached 40-plus years high school football. We'll have an update later tonight, Gary, that on the Indiana Wesleyan men's basketball team, they tip off their season tonight against the #1 ranked team in the nation, preseason #1 Cornerstone. And it's been a barn burner all night. They're up 1 with about a minute to go, so we'll get an update on that final score when we have one. Well, here, though, it's 1st and goal for the Giants. The ball is at the 5-yard line. Johnson in the shotgun. Here's Thomas. Turns it upfield. J.K. Thomas fighting his way forward. Gets it down to about the 1 or 2-yard line. We'll wait for the spot. But the Giants keeping it on the ground.
You know, here in the later stage of the second quarter, Thomas has been the difference maker. Had that long run. They had to punt it away, but he's been running downhill on this drive. And when you get those tailbacks running downhill between the tackles, good things can happen.
2nd down and 2. So now it's a little bit of a chess match here for the coaches. The Giants want to score, but they want to run some clock as well. There's 1:29 here in the first half. Now Darryl Brown lining up in the backfield. The big boy gets the ball, runs over the would-be tackler, and goes into the end zone for the touchdown. Big Darryl Brown, the leading tackler this time, is the...
he was doling out the punishment right there.
That's right.
Wow. With aggression, just over top of the big fella from Mississinewa, and a big touchdown for Marion, an extra point away from a tie.
1:19 left in the first half, and the Giants are an extra point away from tying this one up. Sam Vermillion in for the extra point. Luton to hold. The snap was high. Luton, though, does a great job to get it down, and Vermillion drives it through. We're tied at 7. And just look at the power here.
There was a tackle behind. He ran over a couple of guys. Just unbelievable power. That's a great play. What a great short yardage weapon he is.
You know, Jason Arbogast was there for Mississinewa. He's about 6'1", 290 pounds, and Darryl Brown was able to even get through him. That Darryl Brown, he's so compact and strong, but he stays low to the ground and gets the leverage.
Did somebody get the license plate of that truck? Good gracious.
Get another view here, and
somebody got a hold of his foot. You know, a foot tackle is not going to work on him. And then you're right. Went up against big number 75. Is that Tackett? No, it's number 75, Arbogast.
Yes.
And Arbogast didn't have an answer. Did not have an answer on that run.
Well, after the turnover, the Giants go 17 yards, 5 plays, all of them on the ground. All of those runs really right up the gut, except for that one outside run by Justin Johnson. We're tied up at 7. Here is a short kick taken at the 15. Campbell has it. Bounces off a tackler, still on his feet. Still on his feet at the 30, the 35, the 40. He's going down the left sideline, makes a move at the 40. Hitting at the 35 and finally down at the 29-yard line. Oh, what a big run on the kickoff return by Cade Campbell.
Cade Campbell almost ran into trouble several times there, but managed to stay on his feet, make moves left, right, got it to the outside. What a play, and with the time of factor here in the final minute, 63 seconds of the first half, setting up the Indians in great field position trying to get the lead before halftime. He's trying to catch his breath.
You know, Cade Campbell, we talked a lot about Heisman schemes, and he has earned to be talked about. But Cade Campbell has really been, you know, the workhorse here in the first half for the Mississinewa Indians.
Comes to the right, there's nothing there, breaks a tackle there, and then skirts his way over to the left, and all the way down the sideline he goes.
Here's the pitch to Skeens, turns it upfield and picks up about 2 yards. The clock is running. We're inside a minute. The Indians have 1 timeout remaining. Well, actually, I don't. Do they have 1 or do they have none? I'm not really sure. I have that they have 1 timeout left. By here, they have no timeouts remaining. Well, here is the low snap. Campbell.
Quarterback keeper.
Excuse me, Cade McCoyne with the keeper, and he runs out of bounds, stops the clock with 26.9 seconds as he gets the ball down inside the 25. It was a first down for the Indians as the ball is now, we'll wait for the spot, at about the 18-yard line. The ball, let's see, I said 18. We're going to call it the 17-yard line here. Three wide receivers split to the right. McCoyne rolling that way. Now he's going to look back. He's got a man wide open. Caught. No, he dropped the football. Oh, that was a touchdown to be had by Jay Jones, and he just dropped the football.
Ball was a little behind him, but certainly catchable. And they ran that wheel route again, and that has really worked. Come back to that outside. So you watch, going back to the far side, had him a little behind him, and he couldn't bring it in.
Boy, it was 10 for Mississinewa, Jay Jones, and then 10 Christian Ross for the Giants. Well, now there's a timeout on the field, and I believe it's the Giants who have called the timeout.
So with 20.5 seconds to go, the clock is a factor with no timeouts for Mississinewa. So look for a play call, a pass out near the sidelines, maybe another quarterback run, counter to the opposite side where the flow of the play is to try to get out of bounds.
You take a look at this.
Pumps to the right, goes back to the left. It is behind him. You can see it would have been a good catch, but he got his hand on it. He certainly could have caught it. If the pass had been right where it's supposed to be, it might have been intercepted. So the fact that it was behind him might have been a break from Mississinewa because the defender was getting there.
But you wonder maybe why did the Giants call that timeout, but they have got to cover that particular play defensively. Under pressure, McCoyne dumps it off. It is dropped at the line of scrimmage, that time by Skeens, and probably is a good thing.
Just as well.
Well, it's a 3rd down and 10 now with 15.6 seconds to go. Had Skeens caught that football there, he's tackled immediately, and the clock is going to run.
With 15 seconds left and a 3rd and 10 from the 17, I think you got to throw this ball into the end zone.
You got 2 shots to throw it in the end zone.
You got to throw it in the end zone because anything else happens, you're going to run out of time.
At least past the first down
and go up and clock it.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Here is McCoyne now back in the shotgun. He's looking to his left, to that corner of the end zone, and it is caught. It was caught by Skeens for the touchdown.
What a great throw. Skeens made a great pass, a great catch. But what a great throw by McCoyne to the far side away from the defender where only his guy could catch it, and Skeens made a great play.
The coverage was there, Gary. The coverage was all over Skeens, but like you said, a perfect throw, and Skeens somehow comes away with the touchdown grab.
When you got that great coverage, you've got to put it in that one spot where only your receiver can get it, and McCoyne did. What a throw by McCoyne, and Skeens knew what to do with it.
Oh, my goodness, how quickly things change here.
All credit to the kickoff return.
Yeah, for sure. Now the Giants jump offside, an extra point attempt. Do the Indians think about maybe going for 2 here? Nope, they're going to stick with their normal extra point attempt here. The snap is down, the kick is up. It hit the upright, but goes through, and the Indians take a 14-7 lead. Let's take a look at this one more time.
So he puts plenty of air under, gets it to the outside, past the defender, where only Skeens can make a play on it, and he absolutely makes a fantastic catch and kept his foot in bounds. Great play to get the lead right before halftime.
You know, Aries Washington was there on the coverage, but just a tremendous throw and catch. McCoyne to Skeens. 14-7 with 9 seconds to go here in regulation. Well,
there are times when excellent execution on offense is just going to beat good defense.
I was not sure. I waited on the call because I didn't think Skeens was going to get that football in bounds, but there you just see this.
And you see Skeens was looking over one shoulder and turned and looked over the other and extended out to make the play. You're right. It was great defense, just couldn't get to that ball. A lot of times, great offense will beat great defense.
Well, we'll wait for the kickoff here. I would imagine this could be a squib kick. Well, they kick it away. A good kick taken deep by J.K. Thomas. At the 20, makes a man miss. This could get interesting. He's at the 30. Stops, turns, reverses field. Still on his feet. And finally drugged down at the 40-yard line. And that'll be the end of the first half of play. But J.K. Thomas made it just a little bit interesting right there.
You made the call. You got to squib kick it there with the amount of time that was left. J.K. Thomas made it interesting. He has been the spark plug in the second quarter for this Marion team, but Mississinewa made some great plays right there before the halftime to grab the lead.
Well, speaking of halftime, Gary, I think that was a very well played first half of high school football by the Giants and the Indians. I think two teams playing some pretty good football. But capped off, this was probably the highlight of the first half, McCoy to Skeens with 9 seconds to go.
Skeens, very savvy move, taking his right hand and holding off the defender just enough and then turning to make the play with that little bit of freedom to be able to get that to keep the defender off the ball. That was a great pitch and catch by the Indians to take the lead just for the half.
Well, indeed, that is your halftime score. 14-7, the Mississinewa Indians on top of the Marion Giants. Well, there's a lot more football to come your way in the second half. We're going to take a break for our halftime feature. Then we'll be back with that second half of action. Don't go away. You're watching high school football on WIWU TV. Well, welcome back to Charlie Fisher Field here in Gas City, Indiana, Mississinewa High School. I'm Roger Alcock, joined tonight by my partner, Gary, all the way from Richmond, Indiana.
I'm an import. No, not Richmond, Indiana.
No, excuse me, Richmond, Virginia. Indiana's not, wouldn't be a big deal, but Gary Hess from Richmond, Virginia, and good to have you aboard. And we've seen a great high school football game so far. I think by far the best contest we've seen so far this year in WIWU TV.
The competition has been great. The machinations have been great. The adjustments are what I am eager to see about how things will do differently. I loved what the Indians did with starting to do some stunting and some twists on the defensive line, and that got pressure on Juice Johnson. But then the Giants responded by running the football and getting other guys involved. And, it's interesting. We talked about these key players, but there have been some other guys who have stepped up and been part of the process. And if you want to win a game in the sectionals and move on in the playoffs, you got to have multiple people step up and get the job done for you.
Speaking of winning and moving on, the winner of this game will play next Friday for the sectional championship. They'll take on the winner of tonight's game with Western at Pendleton Heights, and we'll wait to see where that game is at. There's a chance it'll be either here or at Marion. We'll wait to see. But half of football remains here in Gas City, and the Indians have the halftime score. They're on top 14-7. They took the first lead in this ball game with the 21-yard touchdown pass from Cade McCoy to Campbell on a really nice wheel route, a little bit of a misdirection using that speed of the Giants against them, but it was a 10-play drive that covered 49 yards, and we thought that was huge for Mississinewa to get on the board first.
So Juice Johnson got going early on and found some running room, but
and it seems like the Giants they've had their best success running between the tackles, a little bit different than maybe what we had thought we would see.
Running between the tackles, and then that read option play with Juice getting to the outside, that's worked well a couple of times as well. So, so here, spread formation, trying to get down the field. We went well into the second quarter with this game still being scoreless as the teams jockeyed back and forth before Mississinewa got on the board.
Well, as we said, Mississinewa got on the score first. The Giants got on the scoreboard with just about a minute to go in the second quarter with after the gift play on the muff punt. We're going to check in, though, really quick. Coach Funk is with Katie Key.
Thank you, Roger. I'm down here on the Mississinewa sideline with head coach Kirk Funk. And, Coach, how are the guys responding to this game and this atmosphere that's here right now?
Yeah, I try to tell them, we still got 2 quarters of football left. We need to make sure that we stay the course and we continue to execute on offense and defense. I feel like our defense has played really well in the first half, but, Marion's going to make adjustments, and we had to make adjustments. And I always tell them that second halves are about adjustments.
How do you feel your team is playing with the amount of discipline they're playing with right now and just showing it?
Yeah, no, we told them that's what our number one thing is. We got to play with great discipline, and I feel like that's what we're doing right now, so we just got to keep that up.
Thank you so much, Coach, and good luck the second half. Back to you, Roger.
Big thanks to Coach Funk for joining us there at halftime and said just what you said, Gary, talked about adjustments, and we'll wait to see what those are, but I thought Mississinewa did a great job maybe adjusting their game plan to start this game.
Yeah, they adjusted on the fly at several times. But offensive, both play callers did a good job. Now, of course, the Indians got back around to Heisman Skeens on that great touchdown, but got some other guys involved.
Here is the first touchdown, and this one to Campbell, who was really an outstanding element for the Indians there in the first half. Took the pass, took it about 21 yards, got some great blocking downfield.
After the fumble on special teams shut up a short field for the Giants, they pounded it in with the big fella, and then this play just before the half. What a great catch by Skeens on the sideline. Good for the lead. Touchdown, 14-7. Halfway. That first touchdown for Mississinewa was a great throw, great pass, but it was everybody letting the guys in to come after the quarterback. The freight train that was helping him block, 11 guys executing led to the success of that play.
And that second touchdown set up by the big kickoff return by Campbell, and with just a minute to go, it looked like we were going to go into the locker room at half tied at 7, but the Indians were able to take advantage after that big Campbell kickoff return. Well, speaking of kickoffs, we're ready to get this second half underway. The Giants, who won the toss, will get the football first here in the second half. Here is the kickoff, and it'll be taken at the 11-yard line. That is getting out across the 30 out to the 36-yard line. Andre Aguilar on the return for the Giants. So the Giants will have pretty good field position to begin this first possession of the second half. And if there's one thing the Giants had to talk about in their locker room at halftime is, guys, we have got to cut down on our penalties. 5 penalties in that first half for 40 yards. And some of them came at very inopportune times.
Very inopportune times, moving the chains for the other team, pushing them backwards when they were driving, ending drives. But, those are momentum killers. When you have those kind of penalties at the wrong time, just kills your momentum. And, football's a game of momentum.
If you follow the Giants, though, you know that the second half has been their strongest half of this season. They faced adversity all season long, and they have responded. And that first down carry by Thomas gets it out across the 40, a pickup of 4 yards. It'll be second down and 6.
So we'll see what the philosophy is for the Giants here to start the second half.
Get a good look at McCoy. Both quarterbacks play both ways for these teams. Both McCoy and Johnson play defensive back positions for the Indians and the Giants respectively. Here is the second down play. Burke in motion. A low snap. Here's the pitch. Oh, Thomas is in big trouble, and he's going to be knocked back inside the 30 down at the 28-yard line. Big loss.
That option pitch is a timing play, and the low snap disrupted the timing of that play, and then a bad decision by Johnson to pitch the ball, trying to make something out of nothing.
Well, a 3rd and long situation now for the Indians. Make it 3rd and 18. And who was that defensively? Number 31, I believe, for Andrew Cruz. Kind of helped blow that play up a little bit.
Yeah, great pursuit defensively to respond to that, to blow that play up after the poor snap. I don't know if it would have had a chance anyway, but the timing of that play was disrupted from the get-go.
Juice Johnson tucks it in, gets it across the 40. Boy, that was nearly a late hit penalty, but Johnson gets about 14 yards back, but it's going to be 4th and long still here for the Giants. The Indians came with a blitz that time.
And when Juice Johnson gets going, you know, he can go the distance anytime, and he got some good mojo going, but the backside of the defense of Mississinewa kept it from being a first down.
There's a man down on the field for the Indians, so we have a timeout on the field with 10-12 to go here in the 3rd quarter. And now getting up for the Indians, that is Cruz, who made the big defensive play earlier. But the Giants looking at 4th and 7 with the ball at the Mississinewa 41-yard line. They'll have to punt this one away. And for Marion, number 35 is Christian Lemons, who will do the kicking. And back deep for the Indians is Heisman Skeens. Darryl Brown will come in late here for the Giants. But a big stop there on the first offensive possession for the Giants by that Mississinewa defense. And Coach Funk talked about how pleased he was with the play of his defense. Their punt is a low-line drive. Skeens picks it up on the bounce. Has a little bit of running room, but then he's hit and taken down at about the 28-yard line, and that's where the Indians will have it there.
He got what they call in baseball a Sunday hop. That thing hopped right up to the perfect spot to go ahead and grab it, and he may not have gained any ground, but he did not lose a whole lot of yards because that ball was bounding in the Marion direction, so a good decision by Skeen to pick that up.
You know the Mississinewa Indians would love to put a scoring drive here together and get up 2 scores on the Giants right here. Now, despite the 8-2 record, now wait, there is a flag on the field before we even get the snap off here. Was that on the kickoff? It must have been.
A play on the punt and a decision being made.
It said kickoff. Of course, it was the punt. And this one is going to set the Indians back inside their 20-yard line. And so what would have been pretty decent field position out at the 28, we'll wait for the spot, is going to be all the way inside the 15 down at the 13-yard line.
And now it's the Indians' turn to shoot themselves in the foot.
That's only their 2nd penalty, but it's a big one there. And there you see Cruz getting worked on the sideline there. So McCoy will start this drive back in the shotgun formation. Campbell split or lined up just to his right. Now in motion, that was Jay Jones. Pitching it to Campbell. Here's the reverse. The Giants were there to hem it in and taken down. No, he gets away. But the Giants defenders still pursue and take. Was that Skeens? Yeah, it was Skeens. Down near the 10-yard line. It's going to be a loss of about 3, but that could have been even
a whole
worse.
lot worse than that. He was nearly way back in the backfield and then broke a second tackle, but by the time he did all that work, a bunch of white shirts had gotten there to make sure he wasn't going to get away.
You give that Giants defense a little bit of time to catch up and pursue. They've got a lot of speed out there. So it will be now 2nd and 13. Here's the play action. McCoy steps up. In trouble, nowhere to go, and he's going to be hit and taken down for a loss of a yard. good coverage that time by the Giants defense.
Yeah, the secondary gave him nowhere to go with the football, and he had all day to throw. Had plenty of time, kept buying time, but there was nowhere to go. And credit McCoy for not putting it in a spot where he's going to get his team in trouble. Backed up like this, last thing you want is a turnover.
Yeah, McCoy, the senior, he's got a lot of experience, and some people are, they're in the stands yelling, throw it, but you do not want an interception in this.
Unless you throw it in those stands over
Exactly. Well, it'll be 3rd down and 13 now, deep in their own territory. The ball is inside the 10-yard line. Now there's a flag on the play, and it might be a procedure penalty against the Indians.
Based on the body language, it definitely gets him.
Well, the penalty flag is going to get picked up because Coach Kurt Funk is going to use a timeout.
And Coach Funk is not happy, and understandably so. In a close game like this, these timeouts could be critical down the stretch, and he had to use one and really laying into his team a little bit, just telling him to play smart. You talked about in our interview just at the start of the second half, execution, play smart, be intelligent, and say, with the penalty on special teams on the punt, and now this, they're going through a few lapses here, and Coach Funk definitely wants to lock them back in, and I think it turned out to be a really good timeout.
Let's update you on some college basketball action. Can you believe it? College basketball is underway.
It's hard to believe.
The preseason number 6 ranked Indiana Wesleyan University on the road defeats the preseason number 1 ranked Cornerstone University in overtime, 90-89. Those teams tip it off this year. Gary, I would not be surprised if they play the first game of the year and if they play the last game of the year in the national championship game.
What a way to start the season matchup-wise, and then it lives up to the hype.
All right, here's our 3rd and 13 play. Skeens was in motion. Here's the inside handoff to Campbell. On the draw play, gets to the original line of scrimmage, but the defensive effort there by the Giants will force a punt from deep inside the Mississinewa territory. Well, I tell you what, Marion, they needed their defense to step up in that situation, and they sure did.
They had them pinned back thanks to the penalty and did not allow them to move the chains and get from beyond the shadow of their end zone. And now they got a chance to get really good field position. In fact, look, the punt returners for Marion are on the Mississinewa side of the field. Now Marion's going to have to use the timeout.
All right, since we have the timeout on the field, we're going to check in once again on the sidelines with Katie Key.
It looked like Andrew Cruz went down with an ankle injury, but they wrapped his ankle up, and he is back on the field now and ready to go back in and play for the Indians. Back to you, Roger.
And, Gary, don't you know, if you're a player in this game and you can get on that field, you're going to do everything you possibly can to play in this kind of football
This is
game.
the sectional playoffs, right?
Yeah, semifinals.
There's no tomorrow, so gotta wrap it up, rub some dirt on it, and get back out there.
All right. Well,
I don't know if they can find any dirt on this turf field, but I think
it's not dirt anymore. It's little black rubber pebbles.
Right. Rub that on it and get out there.
Well, Dustin Patton back to kick this one away. Back for the Giants. Number 12 is J.K. Thomas. Number 9, Braden Burke. A high punt, but a short punt. Takes a Marion bounce at the 40 and goes out of bounds around the 35, making it the 34-yard line.
And now defense and a short punt has given Marion great field position.
Well, they got great field position on the muffed punt in the second quarter. They scored, they converted, and tied it up at 7. They desperately need right now to convert here on this great field position. I thought this game would be a little bit more of a shootout, but every possession it looks like is going to be critical here.
More of a grind. It's definitely more of a grind. But Juice Johnson can break one at any time.
Here's the snap, the handoff. Thomas, right side, breaks through a tackle, breaks another tackle, down the right sideline, pushed out of bounds. He dives towards the corner of the end zone, but he's going to be marked out of bounds at the 5-yard line. J.K. Thomas with his second big run of the ball game.
Yeah, great job. They bit on the quarterback, and Thomas has had the ability to really get out to the outside, and he's got a lot of speed going for him, no doubt. You could see some people reacted that he got to the outside, good blocking, and was marked out of bounds at the 6.
J.K. Thomas, only a sophomore for the Giants. First and goal, low snap. Johnson picks it up off the turf, and he's going to be taken down right at the line of scrimmage. We've seen a lot of low snaps tonight. It hasn't killed the Giants, but it's hurt them a few times. Second and goal, the ball is at the 6. It's just inside the 6, but shy of the 5-yard line. Giants looking to tie this one up. 6:45 and counting here in the third quarter. Now Eli Lutens will split out way far wide to the left. Thomas in the backfield with Johnson. Johnson with the keeper, turns it up at the 3, at the 2, into the end zone for the touchdown.
Lots of running room on the inside there, and Johnson was going to find his way to the end zone. Actually ran into his own man on the way in, but got the job done, an extra point away from tying it up.
Good blocking up front that time by the Giants offensive line. The Giants convert that great field position, and as you said, a Sam Vermillion extra point away from tying this one up at 14.
Once inside the 15, once inside the 35, and they've cashed in both times.
There's a snap. It's high, but Lutens gets it down. It is up. It is good, and we're tied up at 14 with 6:24 to go in the third.
Look at this. That fake carried out very, very well, and lots of running room. And, you know, the fake went to J.K. Thomas. He's had success, merits attention, and that's going to open some things up for Mr. Johnson. And so that's good for everybody to do with Marion. When you get a couple other guys drawing attention away from Johnson, then Johnson can do his thing.
The Giants go 34 yards and 4 plays, capped off by a 6-yard Justin Johnson touchdown run. And just like that, we're tied up at 14. But I go back to the penalty that put Mississinewa back deep in their territory and the stop.
The penalty on the punt. Pinned them back deep. Then they wasted the timeout. But, you know, when you're inside your 10, it's hard to get the offense going. And the defense, the special teams drew the penalty. The defense held them 3 and out, and then the offense took advantage of the short field. Great job by Marion.
High pooch kick on the punt, but good return that time by Drew Castanon by Mississinewa. Gives them great field position at the 44-yard line. So it'll be great field position here for the Indians to start this second drive of the second half. Boy, the 44-yard line. Interesting call there to kick that ball short that time, but there's the power I formation. Campbell on the handoff, hit at the line of scrimmage. Martin hitting him up high and down low for the Giants' number 37, Anthony Reynolds. Let's check in on the Marion Giants sideline with Jalen Lindsay, the hammer.
I heard from Coach Chambers earlier, and he said that they want to emphasize running the ball, which is they do best. And it's interesting to see what they'll do on the next drive because they just scored a rushing touchdown. Back to you, Roger.
Well, very effective on the ground tonight, the Giants have been, especially J.K. Thomas. There's Heisman Skeens with the carry. He gets about a yard, and so now it will be 3rd and 8 for Mississinewa.
And now you see a little extra bounce in the step of that defense after the offense cashed in and got that touchdown.
You know, number 37 for the Giants, Anthony Reynolds, the 5'10", 160-pound linebacker. He does a lot of dirty work for the Giants. Made the tackle on that last stop. Well, here is the 3rd and 8 play in motion now for the Indians was Cruz. The pitch, and defensively there, the Giants hold. Again, it was Anthony Reynolds along with, let's see, I'm not sure who that was for the Giants, number 62, but 3 straight runs by the Indians. The Giants only give up 4 yards, and the Indians are going to have to kick this one away. McCoy, the quarterback, will stay back to kick this one away. Is he? No, he's going to throw it now. And it's incomplete. They tried to get it to Campbell, and they're going to turn it over on downs. That did not work for the Indians.
The pass was short of the first down marker, and there were defenders there. I don't know if it would have worked even if he caught it.
It looked to me like that was an option play for McCoy. If you see something, we've got the fake set up. If not, you kick it away. He must have saw something there. But Campbell, that pass to Campbell, I don't think he could have caught it. And had he caught it, he was going to be taken down.
Yeah, he was. And now, great field position again for Marion. Here we go. He was going to punt. And then went to throw it, and, yeah, that would never had a chance.
There were a lot of defenders in the area for the Giants. Well, here, Justin Johnson, and the Giants will set it up. Johnson kept it and is taken down. He may, in fact, lost a yard.
Now the Indians' defense has the pressure on it to stem the tide because the Giants have the momentum and have evened the game, gotten the ball back.
It'll be a 2nd down and 11 after that loss of a yard. 4 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter. This game is actually moving along rather swiftly here as both teams have kept the ball on the ground predominantly. Here's Burke in motion. The pitch to Thomas. Working the left side. The defense is there, hems him in and knocks him back. He'll lose a yard. His forward progress was stopped right at midfield at the 50, and so now the Giants are looking at a 3rd and long. It's going to be about 3rd and 12.
And that's one of those plays that's going to maybe you wanted to have success on that play like you do every play if you're calling it from Marion's point of view. But that may set up something they do. There were a lot of other plays off of that play execution you could see going the other way at some point.
They've had success running the ball with J.K. Thomas, but it seems like it's been a play designed to go off tackle, and he's bounced it out afterwards. Well, here is the 3rd down play. Justin Johnson will run away at the 40. Has the first down as he dives forward to the 36-yard line as he picks up some 14 yards and gives Marion their first 3rd down conversion of the 2nd half in their 8th first down of the ball game. Make it their 9th first down.
And that was all Juice Johnson. Did it all on his own. What a great play.
Well, you try to contain him, and they have done a good job containing him, but you just can't stop him on every play. I know that's a cliche, but he is so elusive.
Guys are tackling air.
Here's the
handoff.
handoff.
Miss.
Excuse me, that handoff. And now there was a late, there's a fumble on that play, and the Indians will have the football. It was going to be a gain of about 9 yards on that carry, and someone stripped it away for the Indians. It might have been Drew Castanon. Wow.
It's one of those where the pile's just moving, and all of a sudden the ball's out.
Mm-hmm. The first turnover of the night for the Giants as they fumble it away, and Mississinewa will take the ball over at their 28-yard line.
Had 2 hands on the ball, but the ball ended up on the ground nonetheless.
Here's the snap, the handoff. Skeens breaks free, has the first down. He's near midfield. Now at the 40, down the right sideline to 30, and finally run out of bounds inside the 20-yard line, or right at the 20-yard line, but the big gainer there by Heisman Skeens, his biggest play of the ball game.
Get the ball in your playmaker's hands. Let him get to the outside, and once he was at the outside, it was off to the races.
That time, Heisman Skeens takes the ball some 52 yards on that carry, puts it all the way down to the Marion Giants 20-yard line. Boy, how quickly this changed, where it looked like the Giants had some momentum. They had great field position. They fumbled the football, and next thing you know, Mississinewa's in scoring position. Here's Campbell with the carry.
Hand off to Campbell.
And now the Indians the one with spring in their step.
He takes the ball to about the 15-yard line.
Tied up at 14. Under 2 minutes to go now in the third quarter. Power I formation, 2 tight ends here with McCoy under the center. And they were trying to draw the Giants offside, but I think that time it was the Indians who jumped.
It looked like that. It looked like everybody knew the snap count but the center.
5-yard penalty.
That's what that looked like.
Well, Mississinewa had 1 penalty in the first half. That's their second here in the third quarter. The Giants
and they took a timeout to avoid another one.
Well, that'll make it now second down after the initial gain of 5 yards on first down. It'll make it second down and 10. Ball's back at the 20-yard line. McCoy, no, direct snap to Skeens. Left side, turns it upfield, has the corner, knocked out of bounds near the first down marker. And we'll wait for the spot. I think he's going to be just shy. Nope, he's going to have the first down.
At about the 10-yard line.
Skeens with a gain of 11 on that play.
Skeen turned on the Jets to get around that corner, get just inside the 10. And now the chance to get ahead with the 1st and goal play.
A minute 22 to go here in the third quarter. It'll be 1st and goal for Mississinewa at the 9-yard line. Skeens comes out of the backfield in motion to the right. McCoy is going to keep it. Powers his way forward and gains about 4 yards.
No fakes, just a sidestep and went right behind his right guard and got some positive gains down to close to the 5-yard line. Going to mark it between the 6 and the 7.
Second and goal. The ball is now at the 6-yard line. Now Campbell, big tailback, will be split out wide to the left. Skeens is going to take the direct snap. Turns upfield, slips. He's hit at the line of scrimmage, and now it looks like a flag was thrown in at the end of that play. So the clock will stop with 40 seconds, and you got to believe that's going to be a hold against the Indians in that situation where the flag was thrown.
Yeah, the umpire came in from the defensive side of the ball throwing. Oftentimes that's a hold.
Well, but the Indians are pointing.
Oh, that's a face mask. Personal foul.
Well, not only will the ball move inside the 5, it'll be half the distance to the goal. It will also give the Indians a 1st down.
No, it's not an automatic 1st down.
Oh, okay. I thought with the personal foul.
Nope, it's still 2nd and goal.
Okay. So we're going to call it 2nd and goal. The ball has been moved down to the 4-yard line. Patton in at the fullback position. Skeens behind him. Campbell to the right. Here's Skeens left side. Hit at the 3, dives forward, but down at the 1-yard line.
Interesting, Mississinewa talks about spreading out and doing different things, but had some success tonight with the power I. 3 backs, 2 tight ends, 11 in the box. Just, nothing fancy. Just we're coming at you.
Quarterback sneaker, and McCoy gets into the end zone for the touchdown. Got a little help from his friends with the little last push there at the end, and Cade McCoy caps off the drive with the 1-yard touchdown dive.
Yeah, great execution by the offense. After the fumble, took advantage of the mistake, drove down the field and got the job done.
Well, the big play of that drive was the 52-yard scamper by Heisman Scheme after the turnover. And now the extra point attempt, well, they're going to have to be
the kicker.
Yeah, they're going to march back about 5 yards. That time the kicker, Andre Saladay, moved early. And so the false start penalty will mark it back 5 yards.
Now it becomes like a short field goal instead of an extra point. But a critical extra point it is.
It sure is. All right, we'll try it once again here. Here's the snap and the hold. The kick is down. Plenty of leg for Saladay. And the Indians take a 21-14 lead. Boy, we've got a great football game here at Mississinewa High School. Some big plays. And we now go into the fourth quarter with the Giants trailing by 7. There you get one more look at it.
Yep, just line up and play power football with that power I formation and the 2 tight ends. Only needed 1. Quarterback sneak gets over the goal line. The offensive line of Mississinewa has had some matchup problems at times tonight, but they've stepped up and really improved the execution up front, and that has helped what the Indians have been able to get done here in the second and third quarters.
One more quarter to play for the 4A Sectional 21 semifinal championship. Here is that big gainer, the 52-yard run by Heisman Schemes, and a missed tackle there.
Broke a tackle, the miss, popped it to the outside, and then he knows what to do. One guy had the ankle to keep it, the angle to keep it from being a touchdown.
And Schemes showed his speed there. Aries Washington finally was able to knock him out of bounds at the 20-yard line. So now we'll see if the Giants can respond offensively here. Boy, that turnover was big, and the conversion even bigger for Mississinewa. Well, here we go. It's an onside kick, and the Giants cover it at the 43-yard line, so they'll have great field position that time. An interesting call that time.
Yeah, interesting decision to try to catch the Giants napping after that touchdown. It's a show of faith in his team's defense.
So the Giants will have it as we begin this fourth quarter. An excellent field position at the 44-yard line. And, you know, Justin Johnson has done it all season long with his feet. They've relied on him, but you got to believe somewhere along the line someone else is going to have to step up big for Marion to make a play as well.
And they've had that tonight at times, and they're going to need more of it.
Here is the handoff on that first down play. A nice gain on first down across midfield to the 49-yard line of Mississinewa. It was J.K. Thomas with the carry. Boy, he has had a couple big.
J.K. Thomas has had a really good game since the start of the second quarter. They're going to need him to keep it up, and Johnson.
2nd and 3. Pogue is going to take the handoff, working the left side, turns it up at the 40, runs over a tackler as he gets inside the 35, down to the 34. And Jalen Lindsay talked about the Giants keeping the ball on the ground. That's exactly what they do, and that's what they've been most effective at.
Coach said that's what they do best, and that's what they're doing. The little jet sweep. Remember earlier, Johnson got a great game when they faked the jet sweep. This time they run it, and it works to perfection. Down inside the 35-yard line, Marion in business.
Ball is at the 34. In the pistol, Johnson takes the snap. Thomas, left side, is knocked out of bounds after the gain of about 5 as it gets inside the 30, down to the 29-yard line.
Gain of about 5
11
yards on the
minutes
play.
and 1 second remain here in the fourth quarter. The Giants trail by a touchdown and an extra point, 21-14. They're looking to respond after that big drive from the Indians. Here is Johnson. Pogue in motion will get the handoff. This time the right side. Turns it up. First down yardage. More as he gets inside the 20. He fumbled it, though. It's another turnover and another Mississinewa recovery.
Inside the red zone, putting the ball on the ground, and Mississinewa there to take advantage right at the 20-yard line. And
wow, what a big turnover, because the Giants were on the march. Their second turnover here in the second half, and Montreal Pogue just shaking his head after that
and waving off the sideline like they thought he was hurt at first.
Well, the defense is going to have to step up now for the Giants. They'll have to get a stop here. Well, here we go with the Indians now. First down, the ball is at the 19. The Giants were offsides. No, a false start is going to be called against Mississinewa.
So Mississinewa coming out in the power eye again, basically saying 10:51 to go. We got a 7-point lead.
And we'll see if we can.
Cuts it upfield.
Well, one of the Indians, you know what? Who that was? That was Jay Jones, who got his helmet on the football, I believe. Number 10 for the Indians.
Jay Jones had a couple things go against him tonight, so good to see him make a play.
Now would be 1st and 15. Wrapped up in the backfield and drugged down for a loss of 5 back to the 10 as Andre Aguilar makes the stop on Skeens.
Andre Aguilar.
They're going to spot the ball at
the tackle for the Giants.
There's going to come a point where the Indians are going to have to open it back up a little bit and try to make some plays in the perimeter. Completely sitting on a 7-point lead. Not something they're going to be able to get away with. But the power eye, steady dose of it, can work well.
Skeens comes out of the backfield in motion. McCoy rolls to his left. He'll fire towards Skeens. Has him on the sideline. Slips away from one tackler and dives forward out to about the 24-yard line. So they get, what, about 13 yards back on that pickup.
Right on cue. On 2nd and 18, a comeback route where the receiver goes deep and then comes back to the football and got it down to a very manageable 3rd and about 4.
Andre Cruz checks back in for the Indians. It'll be 3rd down and 4. They have to get it out just across the 28. Here's the inside handoff, but that time the Giants defensively stand up. In fact, they're going to knock him back for a loss of a yard. Campbell on the carry that time. They tried to sneak him in there, but the Giants defensively were not fooled on that play.
Not fooled at all, and the running back might have slipped a little bit too.
Well, Mississinewa will have to kick it away. Patton will be back at about his 11-yard line to take this snap. J.K. Thomas, boy, he's not even back to midfield. Now he'll back up a little bit more, but Thomas and Burke back to receive this. The Giants should get the football in very good field position here. Boy, that was nearly blocked. Low line drive, and it goes out of bounds. Let's see where they're going to mark it. Well, he's still walking up the sideline and right at the 50-yard line. Someone was coming in for the Giants and almost got a piece of that football. Patton just was able to get it away.
Actually got off a pretty good punt considering the pressure.
For sure. 8:41 to go. The Giants, who have fumbled the football away deep inside Mississinewa territory on their last 2 possessions, will start here at midfield. And Gary, it's simple to say, but they got to hang on to the football here, and they've got to convert on these opportunities.
Ball security is critical in the play anytime, especially in the playoffs. And it's been a problem for the Giants tonight.
Again, a low snap. Justin Johnson is going to run with it, working left side, turns it upfield at the 40, at the 30, and a touchdown saving tackle there by Jones. But this one could be coming back because there was a flag on the play. If this is on the Giants, I believe this will be their first penalty of the second half.
1 yard inside the line of scrimmage. It's where the flag is down.
Yep. You got to believe it's going to be a hold or some type of illegal block on the Giants here. They already have backup. Was there maybe a crackback? Yep. A chop block is going to be called.
Yep. And you could easily see the chop block on the replay.
Yeah. Chop block when a defender is engaged with one blocker up high and someone hits them low. You cannot do that.
You look for the chop block, the low snap, and you'll see it right there on dove low and kind of just clogged him up, but that's still illegal. Good call by the officials.
All right, well, that is indeed the first penalty called against the Giants. Their 6th of the game. Mississinewa has been flagged 5 times, but now it'll be a 1st and 20 for the Giants all the way back to their 40-yard line. Johnson's going to throw. Now he tucks it in. He's going to run. Now he throws on the run. He's got his man, Hamilton. Oh, it's just over his head. Actually, that was Braden Burke who was breaking free at the 25-yard line.
Had Burke wide open, threw it out there where only he could get it, but overthrew his intended receiver.
Needed just a little bit more air on that throw.
Just a little bit more. It's interesting. He probably could have scrambled for close to a first down. Let's see how much was open right here. Makes one guy miss, cuts it to the outside. Couple of red shirts were there, but overthrows his intended receiver by 5 yards.
That's a tough job on a defender when you know that quarterback has been running all night long. You see him take off, you want to come up and make the stop, but yet you can't let that receiver get beyond you. Johnson under pressure on the run. He is going to uncork it and throws it out of bounds. And, boy, that was going to be a massive loss back at the 25-yard line, but instead it'll be 3rd down and 20. But Johnson just barely able to get that one away.
The pressure really being turned up there. Johnson was able to get it off, but the Mississinewa defense really, ramping up the efforts to try to get the ball back. And with 8:17 to go, the clock becoming a factor here in the 4th quarter.
Well, 3rd down and 20. This Mississinewa defense has played big tonight. The Giants looking to convert here on 3rd down. Johnson looking right, has his man tipped. Almost intercepted. It was thrown behind Burke, but it falls incomplete at the 45-yard line.
Almost intercepted indeed. Got both hands on it, but couldn't bring it in.
Well, after that punt where the Giants had the ball 1st and 10 at the 50-yard line, they're going to have to kick it away.
You can see after the tip, Lowe got both hands on it, got it up in the air, but couldn't get forward to get a hold of it. It's like, just beyond your grasp. Come back.
Well, with the lead, the Indians have made the Giants maybe pass a little bit more than they would like. They've taken away what is the strength of the Giants, and that's Justin Johnson and J.K. Thomas keeping the ball on the ground. That kick takes a Marion bounce.
Mississinewa
inside the 30.
Mississinewa's deep back must have thought it was an NFL punter. He was so far back, and the punt landed 20 yards in front of him and was never going to get returned.
Well, 8 minutes and 1 second remain here. Mississinewa will take over the football. They'll have it 1st and 10 at the 28-yard line. They have the 21-14 lead, and we'll see if they keep it on the ground, try to run some clock here. But picking up 1st downs is key for Mississinewa right now.
Work on that clock. They call it the 4-minute offense. Can you move the chains and melt the clock away to protect the lead? Or you can just get in the open field.
Direct snap to Skeens. He gets the big gainer all the way out to midfield. Picks up the Mississinewa 1st down on the big, what's that, about a
30-yard run, somewhere else, yeah.
Anthony Riddle is on the tackle for the Giants.
Riddle on the tackle for the Giants, and one of the Giants is down. wait to
Here
see.
you see Skeen make one guy miss, then juke another guy, veer to the left, and get a great run. Heisman Skeens.
John Heisman, the legendary college football coach. You got a Heisman Trophy. I believe John Heisman was at University of Chicago or something like that back in the day.
Back in the day.
Leather helmets and all.
Yeah, that's right. Even if they even wore helmets back then.
Exactly. Well, after that big gainer, it's going to be a first down for Mississinewa at midfield, and boy, that gives them a little bit of breathing room there, gives them some options, and I've been very impressed with what Mississinewa has been able to do on the offensive end tonight, but really, their defense has come up big tonight as well.
They have played pretty solid on both sides of the ball across the board all night long, and made some good adjustments and have been opportunistic, have taken advantage of a couple of miscues by the Giants.
Still haven't seen who that is down for the Giants. We'll see if we can get a number. But, all time, well, that was Anthony Reynolds who made the tackle for the Giants, getting up a little bit. So it might have taken a foot to the stomach that time. But 12-0 the Giants are against Mississinewa all time. And as we said before this game, it's been 44 years since these teams played. But the
7-6 the last time they played?
Yeah, at Memorial Field, it's what is now McCullough Junior High. So a real barn burner in that one. But the Indians would love to get their first ever victory here in a sectional semifinal against the Giants. And they lead 21-14 with 7:48 to go. Here's Skeens now working the right side. He's hemmed in, turns upfield, and I love what he did right there, Gary. He stays in bounds and keeps the clock running.
Stayed in bounds. Very smart play. Took a step back to the inside. Realized that there was nothing there because of the great pursuit of the Giants' defense, and just went down right at the line of scrimmage. Didn't lose any yards, didn't gain any.
This drive started back at the Mississinewa 28-yard line. Skeens got it on the big gainer out to midfield. It's 2nd down and 10 now. Indians taking their time now.
Starting to work on that play clock. That's exactly right.
Play clock down to 4.
Back to the power I.
Here's the handoff to Campbell. Not much sledding room there. Actually, that was Patton, the fullback, with the carry.
The second fullback, the guy that came in to create the power I. Got the quick trap.
So now it is 3rd and 9. Ball to 49. I don't think the Indians in this situation are going to be able to throw. They've got the senior quarterback in McCoyne, the veteran receiver in actually Campbell and Skeens. I think they can trust McCoyne here on 3rd and long to put the ball in the air if they want to.
Bunch formation to the left.
McCoyne takes, oh no, the high snap over Skeens or through his hands. Skeens is hit back at the 30. He's wrapped up and taken down at the 32-yard line. So that time, I don't think it was a bad snap. I think it just went through.
I was just getting ready to say, I think it went right through his hands. And now it's going to be a defensive stand for the Giants and an opportunity to get the ball back and try to tie this game.
Yeah, big break for the Marion Giants there, as that football, a big loss of about 18 yards on that play.
And as you saw on the snap, it was not bad at all. Just went right through Skeen's hands.
Patton back to kick this one away. Burke and Thomas once again back for the Giants. Clock is ticking at 5:30. Low snap, but takes a Marion bounce inside the 40, still rolling. And boy, Thomas get away from that football. Finally is down inside the 20. What a great bounce for the Indians. I tell you what.
One of the ugliest great punch you'll ever see.
Well, it literally went further on the ground than what it did in the air.
Right. It was a line drive and it just got great roll out of it with the low punt and kicked it directly away from the returners. Actually, an extremely effective punt.
Well, there's 5 minutes, 18 seconds on the clock. The Giants will have the football back at their 19-yard line. They trail 21-14.
This is Juice Johnson time. If they're going to get the tying touchdown, he's got to make a big play.
Well, he did it last week against Delta. They'll see if he can do it again tonight. J.K. Thomas breaking tackles. A tough 4-yard gain right there.
And it's good to continue getting him involved. He's had a fine game tonight, but look for something to be set up for a read option play or something to get Johnson on the outside, because when he makes a couple guys miss and gets to that second level, he can really that creates open field situations where he is extremely dangerous.
Well, with under 5 minutes to go, I wonder if the Giants are thinking every time they have the football here, it's 4-down territory. Here's Juice Johnson with the big gainer. Almost broke free at the midfield mark, but he's drugged down inside Mississinewa territory at the 48-yard line, but Johnson is not getting up. Well, now he does, but that was a scary moment if you're a Giants fan right there.
No doubt about that, but basically not a lot of pretense there. Just looked for a hole and shot through it and got out into some open territory. And I told you, get through that, you bust through that first wave and get to that second level, and Johnson can really make something happen. Clock definitely a factor here with a 7-point game.
The Giants have 2 timeouts remaining, but we're approaching the 4-minute mark. Burke in motion, J.K. Thomas with the handoff, a gain of about 2 yards. Second down and 8. There's that big run by Justin Johnson, again, just showing the speed.
Actually, another low snap, but just took off. Made one guy miss, never even touched him, and then down to the ground pretty hard.
Well, in the
after
fourth,
the great run.
Well, Gary, in the fourth quarter last week against Delta, Coach Chambers told Justin Johnson, it's on your shoulders. You carry that ball if you need to, and he kept it on the ground, had some big touchdowns in that second half, and they're going to go right back to it tonight.
Jet sweep that time to the far side. Burke got the carry and was able to turn the corner and make it third and very manageable, about 3 yards. But once again, that jet sweep action, they've got a play that they used earlier tonight where they faked that jet sweep, let that all the activity go that way, and Johnson goes back the other way.
3rd and 3. 3:24 to go. As Pogue in motion, handoff to J.K. Thomas. He's hit at the line of scrimmage, and he picked up maybe a half a yard.
Great penetration that time by number 70, Evan Wilkins, and he got a hold of him and did not let go.
Well, this is the play of the game up to this point right now. It's 4th and 3, and it's all of every bit of 3 yards here. So we take a look at that big tackle right there.
Wilkins got a hold of him and held onto his feet and did not let go, and the other red shirts got there to help.
All right, here we go. 4th and 3. Justin Johnson keeps it, working the right side, has the corner, down the right sideline, first down and more. Inside the 20, down at, out of the 30, at the 23, but there is a flag on the play, and you know that one's coming back. It's got to be a hold against the Giants.
Yep, and they've placed it inside the 40, so it's going to end up being about 4th and 11. And there it is, blocking the back.
Oh, my.
And the mistake-prone issues for the Giants continues again.
You know, they had the 5 penalties in the first half. That is only their second penalty of the second half, but boy, it comes at the worst time.
I think they called it behind the play yet again. It looked like it was the left side of the offensive line after Johnson had already gone around the right side.
Well, now the ball is going to be marked all the way back to the 49-yard line. It'll be 4th and 11. Got that run pass option here. I think you got to look pass first, though, with 11 yards, but we'll see what happens. 4 wide receivers, 2 split to either side. Johnson, again, a low snap. Steps up, fires right side. It is tipped, and was it caught? Was it caught by the Giants at the 35? What a play off the tip.
Wow, not even the intended receiver, just a guy behind it was tipped. And a great play made on the backside by a second receiver and a fresh set of downs at the 35.
Sometimes you need a little magic to help you along the way, and the Giants got it right there on the big 4th down and 11 play. It's now 1st and 10 from the 35. Here's J.K. Thomas up the middle. He gains 4 yards. 2 minutes now remain here in regulation.
Here we go.
Let's take a look at this. Tipped
and on the backside there to make the catch. Johnny on the spot. Wow.
Isaiah Hamilton with the big grab. Second man through. No, Johnson's going to keep it. Left side. Turns it up at the 25. Out of bounds at the 20-yard line. At the 19. Runs out of bounds and stops the clock with 1:39. First down, Giants.
So the Giants now move the chains inside the 20-yard line to the 18-yard line. Now this is, except for the one drive where they started there and the other, the 2 touchdown drives, they've really struggled when they've got to about this point tonight, or the Mississinewa defense has risen up. Let's see what happens here.
1:39, 1st and 10. The ball is at the 18. The Giants 18 yards from a potential touchdown that would tie this ball game up with an extra point. Johnson, quick hitter, has his man. First down, Montreal Poe. Well, actually, it's going to be just shy of the first down marker, so this clock will continue to run.
Inside the 10.
The Giants do have 2 timeouts, but they're taking their time here.
2nd and 1 for the Giants.
The ball is at the 9-yard line. They can get a first down, as it is 2nd and 1.
Running from the pistol formation here.
It's J.K. Thomas in the backfield. Thomas fumbled the football. He fumbled the football on the handoff, and the Mississinewa Indians take over. Oh, my goodness.
And the turnover bugaboo strikes Marion yet again. And the Indians get the recovery, and now with under a minute to go, are in great shape.
Boy, on the option play.
Low snap. Got it to him. Hit just, it was a phone. He never had it.
Now, Johnson, I think, was going to keep it on that play.
It was a great job that time by number 67, who got in there and blew that play up.
Let's take one more look at that.
67, ruined the exchange and was never in possession of the running back.
Well, 59 seconds remain here, and all the Indians really have to do is snap the football, take a knee. The Giants have 2 timeouts, but let's see. Did we even get a snap here?
Yes, you got the first down snap and the second timeout by Marion.
Well, this game is, it was everything maybe as advertised. 2 teams who have put together quite a show here tonight, but there's no question about these 3 fumbles in the second half for the Giants, all 3 coming deep inside in the red zone.
Great play by the defensive lineman to get in there and kind of ruin that exchange. But you're right, the 3 fumbles have been critical tonight. Mix that in with the penalties, and the mistakes have just come back to haunt Marion tonight. I do not think they're going to quite be able to run this down. They take a knee now in the 3rd timeout, then after the next one, it'll run down. They'll have to punt the football or run a play.
I think the Giants all right. Not sure who called that timeout, to be quite frank with you.
Well, the referee pointed Mississinewa's way, but I'd be surprised they called it.
Here's Campbell working the left side. He's going to have the first down, and with that first down, Cade Campbell, I think, right there, seals the deal for the Mississinewa Indians.
That should certainly take care of it there.
For the first time in their history, the Mississinewa Indians are going to beat the Marion Giants on the gridiron. And Coach Kurt Funk, give him and his staff all the credit in the world. They put together a great game plan, and then these players, I think, executed it. And, of course, those turnovers. But, I think this defense did a pretty good job forcing some of those turnovers.
The offense and the defense executed at a pretty high level all night. And, yes, the mistakes really hurt Marion. Mississinewa forced those mistakes. Sometimes you directly force them with that, like the play, this last fumble. Got right in the middle of that exchange, forced the fumble. But sometimes also just putting pressure on the offense, putting pressure, getting in the backfield, you force them into making – sometimes you can force the miscues by your opponent, and Mississinewa's done a very good job of that tonight.
Well, now the Indians, all they have to do is go into the victory formation. McCoy takes the snap, takes the knee. The Giants will use their last time out here. You
ask any coach, what their favorite play is.
Yeah.
It's victory formation. That's their favorite play.
Well, you know what? While we got a moment here before this one wraps up, I want to say thanks to Coach Chambers of the Marion Giants. He has been more than generous with his time this year as we've covered the Giants at different times throughout the season on our broadcast here. And when he took this team over, Gary, they hadn't won a game. And, last year it was the five wins. This year, the 7 wins. And they were in every single ball game. They played Lafayette Jeff down to the wire, Kokomo right down to the wire. McCutcheon had a great game with them. I mean, he has turned this program around and done a great job. And you know what? These Giants, they never gave up tonight. Just the turnovers really were their bugaboo.
And truthfully, the flow of the play, they were every bit as good, if not better. But just, fundamentals, blocking, tackling. The blocking and tackling was probably pretty well even. The fundamentals, definitely better, in my opinion, on the Indian side. And playing clean, the mistakes.
Well, that'll do it. That'll do it as the clock ticks off. The Mississinewa Indians have done it. They beat the Marion Giants here at Charlie Fisher Field. The final score as the clock runs down 21-14, and the Indians will move on to the sectional championship game.
What a great game. What a great battle. The competition was really even between the two teams most of the night. It's what you want in a playoff game. You want it to come down to the wire. You want it to be thrilling, and you want to have a great finish, and you want both teams to lay it on the line, and that's exactly what we had here tonight.
The other thing is it was kind of a cold, wet day all day long. I think, thankfully, the rain stopped right as the game was beginning, and we had a kind of a clean football game. I don't think the weather affected this football game.
I don't think the weather affected it at all.
Yep.
I think you're exactly right. I remember looking at halftime and thinking, hey, the amateur meteorologists around here who said it was going to stop raining were right.
But as big as the Mississinewa offense was tonight, their defense came up with some big plays. And that was, to me, the difference in the game tonight is that Mississinewa defense.
There's no doubt about it. The defense, they made some adjustments. They tried some different things. They were able to get in the backfield, put some pressure on Johnson, and they kept Johnson from killing him. He got some plays where he got out into the open field, but they were able to keep him from just absolutely being a total game breaker.
Well, as we said, these teams had not met for 44 years. The Giants held the all-time record of 12 wins, no losses against Mississinewa. But tonight was the Indians' night. Coach Kurt Funk and the Indians will move now to the sectional championship game. 21-14 win over the Giants. And the Giants, they're going to go home after this one, and they're going to say a little bit of, what might have been. Think about that 4th down and 11 play with about a minute and a half to go. The tip ball. Isaiah Hamilton comes up with a great reception. They keep the drive alive. They were scratching and clawing their way. And, man, this one looked like it was going to overtime. I really thought it was going to overtime.
Overtime.
Hey, we're going to check in on the sidelines really quick. Jalen Lindsay was with Coach Chamber of the Marion Giants.
Hello, I'm here with Coach Chambers, and how do you feel like you played tonight, Coach? We play bad. I mean, we just too many turnovers, too many errors. Good football teams, you can't win ball games like that. Okay, so how do you plan to execute for next year so it doesn't happen again? We just after the season over, give them a few weeks off, then we just have to get back at it, get in the weight room, and just get ready for the next season. All right, thank you, Coach. All right, thanks a lot.
All right, thank you, Jalen Lindsay. And, Coach Chambers is a class act after a tough loss, comes over and talks to our Jalen Lindsay, so certainly we want to say thanks to you. But then again, it's the Indians' night, and there you see them, the players and the students out on the field celebrating this win. And I know if you're Coach Kurt Funk, you're going to say we're going to enjoy this one tonight. But I know he's bound and determined to try to bring back a sectional championship here to Mississinewa. And so they'll celebrate it tonight. They'll go to work tomorrow against the winner of Western or Pendleton Heights and see if they can't bring a sectional championship home.
That's what coaches do. They enjoy it for a few minutes, and then they say, who's next?
Saw the Giants there wrapping up their season. Great, 7-win season. Had a really nice run in the North Central Conference, a very tough conference, and a season I think with a little time they can look back on and be proud of what they accomplished this year and the growth that they made. And they've got some pretty good talent coming back next year as well. And Coach Chambers will be in his third year and continuing to build this program.
Going to have to find a new quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's that pesky thing about high school seniors graduate.
Well, number one, Keyshawn Johnson, we saw him a couple times during this year. He's not as big as Justin, but boy, is he fast. And maybe he could be one we see at that quarterback spot next year for the Giants. We'll wait and see. All right. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back, though, and talk a little bit more about this big Grant County matchup. So don't go away. You're watching the high school football game of the week here on WIWU TV.
Want to know what I like best about playing basketball for my high school? I like it because it's a place where my friends get to see me play. I like it because I'm playing for someone besides myself. I'm playing for everybody in my school and every person in my community.
Indiana high school sports. They're more than just a game.
Come and see me play.
And the decisions that you have to make, not just job-wise, not just career-wise, not just your calling, but really this is the heart of the matter when it comes to if you're going to decide to follow Christ or you're going to continue to follow your own way. Sometimes the Lord prepares and tills the soil of our souls for something when we least expect it.
Luther believed that God was always about half-ticked with him, always out to get him. And this is something that Luther has to overcome. And Luther overcoming this worldview of God is an important part of the Reformation.
Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Crossroads. I'm Randall King.
And I'm Katie King.
It's Kappa. Here we go. Here we
We're
go.
surprised it actually works. Now I can maybe actually get some. I'm Randall King.
And I'm Katie Key. The Crossroads of Life brings people together, and that's what we try to do here each week.
Thanks for watching, everyone. So long.
Roger Alcock along with Gary Hess back here at Charlie Fisher Field, Mississinewa High School, where the Indians come away with the 21-14 victory over the Giants. Mississinewa never trailed in this football game, and I thought that was a key. They went up 7-0. We were tied at 7 apiece, 14-7, tied again at 14, but instantly they came back, took the lead at 21-14 and held on to it.
We talked about that earlier. Marion looked like a team more capable of being comfortable to come from behind. I think it was critical for Mississinewa to play from ahead, to have that confidence. And it was interesting hearing the coach talk earlier this week about some of the big games that they've been in and some of the experiences they've had over the last couple of years. And I think that made a difference tonight.
Well, in the big games this year for Mississinewa this year against New Haven, they dropped a late one, a game I know they thought they should have won. Against Eastbrook, quite frankly, they got outplayed. They did not feel they played their best game, but they've had those big games, those big game moments, like you said, in the last couple of years. And Coach Funk talked about them settling into this ball game when we talked to them earlier this week. They were settled in from the opening drive, I felt.
I thought both teams were actually pretty settled, but the pressure that they were able to put on Marion, the defense put pressure on the offense, and the offense was able to move the ball, did some different things, came out with that power eye tight package with tight ends, 11 in the box, said power football, what are you going to do with this? And then did some things to the outside, and at key moments, great execution. I think about that the backdoor screen pass where they draw in the defense, got the touchdown just before halftime on that play. Or the first touchdown was actually on that play. That, it's just an opportunity to execute at a pretty high level, and that was great tonight for obviously the winning formula for the Indians.
We're going to take a look at some of the highlights here from the second half, and the Giants got the football first, but couldn't do much. And here was, well, actually, this was the first half. This was that big play you just talked about, Cade Campbell on that toss back, and then he did the rest on his feet.
I did on his feet, had a convoy of blockers along with him, and that got the job done. This was after the special teams gaff by Mississinewa, then the touchdown. But then just before halftime, the incredible throw and catch. Great job there.
To me, that's probably the play of the game now as we look back on it, because that was a big situation there right before
I would
the
contend
half.
the kickoff return that put them in position to do that. Without that kickoff return, they might have had a more conservative approach, and happy to go in the locker room at halftime.
They mixed Skeens in here, and that was the big 52-yard run that set up the game, what ended up being the game-winning touchdown.
Yep.
And then the quarterback sneak from Cade
with
McCoy
the little push from behind us, nothing wrong with that.
No.
Get a little push from your friends.
Goodbye with a little help from your friends. And, you talked about what Mississinewa did on the offensive end. They mixed in just enough of things like that wildcat formation. It wasn't a staple, but they mixed it in just at the right times. But,
a little bit of throw, a little bit of screen, a little bit of wildcat, a little bit of power eye. And that is the intriguing thing about this Indian team. Offensively, they can do a lot of different things. They can look at the defense and say, okay, you're going to have to give us something. What are you going to give us? That's what we're going to take. A very impressive job. And you know what? They got it done defensively tonight, too, putting the pressure on and forcing the turnovers.
And quite frankly, we don't have the final stats here, but offensively, the Giants moved the football really all night long. I think they had more first downs, actually, when it was all said and done, but the Mississinewa defense came up with the stops and the big turnovers. Well, speaking of Mississinewa's defense, a very proud head coach, Kirk Funk, is down on the field with our Katie Key.
Thanks, Roger. I'm down here with head coach for the Mississinewa Indians, Kirk Funk. And, Coach, how did your guys respond to just the historical aspect and just the atmosphere of this game? How do you think they responded?
I think they did a great job. Luckily for us, I think one advantage that we had was we've been in these games before with Eastbrook, our county rival. That's our big rival, and we've had two big games the last 2 years with them. Last year we hosted here. We were both undefeated, and this year we went to their place, both with high expectations. So our kids have been in this environment before. And I told them that we need to learn from the mistakes we've made in the past, and they did that tonight, and I'm just real proud of them.
Yeah, and your guys just came out with a focus, and you could just tell from the start. I mean, they came out and just were getting the ball, like stops, and doing really great things. How do you think you're going to be able to use this game to help you guys in the future?
This is one of them games you build off of, we've kind of been there before, and not really been able to break through that wall, and this team broke through, and now we just, we got a big one next week that, it's going to be a toss-up.
Yeah, and talk to us a little bit about your defense, because your defense all night was pretty strong and just stopping the ball a lot. So tell us.
Yeah, no, our defense did a great job. We made a lot of defensive adjustments throughout the game, and then all week we did. And our kids were a little confused on Wednesday, and we said, hey, it's a process. Just believe in the process, and they did. They believed in the process, and the end result was what you saw tonight, and that's through their study and their focus.
Well, what are you guys going to do for next week?
Well, we just got to get better on the fundamentals. We had some missed tackles tonight. We got to get better at. We're just going to go grind tomorrow morning, have practice, and we're going to enjoy this one tonight. But we still got things that we got to accomplish.
Well, thank you so much, Coach. Great win for you guys.
Hey, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Back to you, Roger.
The thing, thanks, Katie, and thanks, Coach Funk. Gary, the thing that kind of sticks out to me, too, a little bit is you look at the last 5 games since that Eastbrook loss. Madison Grant won 69-0 over Madison Grant, 60-0 over Oak Hill, 69-0 over Frankton, 69-20 over Alexandria. Then in the opening round of the sectionals, 65-20 over Frankfurt. And I wondered, with 5 consecutive literal blowouts, would they be ready for this game? Because the Giants were not going to be blown out tonight, especially considering the schedule they played and the difficulty of that schedule. I thought, will Mississinewa be ready for this game, or will it take them, a half to make the adjustments? But,
emphatic, yes.
Yeah, no question about it.
Yeah, they were definitely ready to play. Great preparation by the coaching staff to get them ready to play for an opponent that was going to throw some different things at them. They knew they had to account for Johnson. And Johnson got out on a few runs, but they did a really good job, put pressure on him in throwing situations, tried their best to contain him running the football. Some other guys got involved, but by and large, a little bend but not break to it, but especially in the red zone, great execution defensively, and they put up a lot of pressure.
All right, we're going to check in one more time with Katie Key. She has Heisman Skeens with her.
Thank you, Roger. I'm down here with Heisman Skeens, a junior running back. And what does a game like this mean for you guys as a team, and just for you personally?
For me personally, I don't think we've played a game like this. We prepared all week, expecting it to be one of our toughest games, and we just came out and our team performed pretty well.
Did you expect to get the ball as much as you did in this game, and just to be able to run it?
It really wasn't planned on how much I'd get the ball. It was just follow the flow of the game. If I wasn't doing the best I should have been doing, we'll give it to somebody else. But I'm glad I pulled it off.
And the turnovers you guys had experienced. Can you just tell us a little bit about that?
It was major. They were driving on us, and turnovers really helped. We can't really. They were back. They had us back on our heels, and we just had some turnovers in our favor.
And what are you thinking about next week? I know it's early to ask that, but what are you thinking about next week?
Win a sectional championship. That's about the only thought in my head right now.
Well, thank you so much, and congrats on a great win.
Thank you.
Back to you, Roger.
Gary, Heisman Skeens, boy, he came up huge in the second half.
He came up huge, man. Had several big runs. They went to the Wildcat package quite a bit in the second half, snapping the ball directly to him. And I loved his mindset. No mention of who they might play, who they won't play. Win a sectional championship. What else is there? And that's what it's all about. Survive and advance. They survived tonight, and now they're going to advance.
All right. One more time with Katie Key down on the field. She has another player with her.
Thank you, Roger. I'm down here with Dustin Patton, a senior on the Mississinewa Indians team, and he's a linebacker. And so can you just go ahead and tell us a little bit about your guys' defensive plan coming into this game?
Really stop the inside game, but also contain the quarterback, Johnson. He's a good quarterback. Make sure we contain him, and we'll win the game.
How do you think you guys executed that plan after looking back now?
Pretty good. They only put up 14. Could have done better. Had some mistakes, but we did okay.
How do you think causing turnovers on them from the defensive end, how do you think that affected their play and helped you guys in turn?
I think it shut them down, but it also gave us the hype, and we capitalized on most of it.
And what's it like to play in such a big game like this, especially your senior year? This is a historical game, and you got to experience that. What's that like?
No, I've never played a game bigger than this, and then next week will be an even bigger game, and we got Western on this field, so we just start tomorrow morning 9 a.m. Go to the work.
And what's it like at school? There's so many fans that fill the stands for you guys, even on a cold night like tonight. You get your student section filled and the fans are packed. What's that like, and what's the talk around school like?
Everybody just supports us, and I mean, there's a few people that don't, but hey, that's all right. But we get all the supporters, and they come out here and support us, and we'll get the job done.
And what are you looking at most? Like, what's your biggest, most exciting thing you're looking forward to next weekend?
Just to win the sectional championship.
Wow. Yep. Well, thank you so much, and congrats on a big win. Back to you, Roger.
Well, Mr. Patton just confirmed what I was about ready to announce, that Western did, in fact, defeat Pendleton Heights, and so that sectional championship game will be here next week at Mississinewa.
Playing for a sectional championship and getting to play at home, that's huge. And I loved when he said, they asked how you felt the defense played. He looked at the scoreboard. He's like, yeah, the scoreboard says we did just fine.
That's right.
And it's a bottom line business in the playoffs.
Absolutely. Well, the story of the night was that Mississinewa defense, probably the turnovers from the Giants, and the offense doing what they had to do, making some big plays when they needed them. Mississinewa victorious 21-14.
Huge win. Great advance the program at Marion is making. These two teams need to play each other every year.
Well, hopefully they do, and hopefully we'll be back next year to cover the Giants and the Mississinewa Indians again. Well, Gary, thanks for being here. It was
Happy
a pleasure.
To do it. Yep.
This is our last broadcast of the year, so certainly we want to say thanks to Randall King, our producer, Nathan Johnson, Paul Crisp, and everyone else, Michael Arn down in the truck, all our students, Katie Key, Jalen Lindsay. We really appreciate you. We'll see you later this year with Wildcat Sports here on WIWU TV.